Is up, everybody? How are you doing? We are back for another episode of Cogs in the Machine. I'm here, Trevor's here, and there is no codes. I know some of you look forward to the codes we have in the description. There's no codes this week because these games are old. And if you have them and you want to play them, you can play them. I'm the floor hugger, one of the co-hosts for Cogs in the Machine. This is episode 13. Today we're going to talk about, the good old GameCube system. Trevor and I were just talking before we launched. I was 7 when it launched. So
Oh
this is
man.
another Trevor heavy episode. If you guys want to see, more of this, go to Cogs in the Machine. Episode 11 was just put up on Level 1 Gaming. I have to put up episode 12 this week, but everything is just up and at 'em. And you guys know my co host. You should, please, guys. We've been doing this for a couple months now. Trevor, tell the people who you are and how they can find you.
I am Trevor Oz, and yeah, I do community PR stuff for Winterborn. We're a developer that is working on a turn-based RPG. You can check out at externusgame.com, and I just like talking about video games,
And
and we're
you're
gonna have some
so
fun.
good at it. Like, you're so good at talking about video games.
I
Uh,
try. I
I
just
mean, you succeed. You don't try, you
I, I've
succeed.
been I've been around a long time, you could say.
You're an old man, so we all know that. What's up,
This is
Hustle?
true.
Thank you for liking the new intro. It's been a work in progress for a while, and I'm glad you like it. Um, so yeah, we're gonna go through the Nintendo GameCube, arguably one of the best Nintendo consoles. Maybe.
It yeah, I mean it could definitely be up there because I mean you look at their consoles in the past, you know, 20 years, you could say, since the GameCube. I mean, it's certainly uh, it's going to be a hot debate, I think, between probably the GameCube and anything earlier than the
Oh,
GameCube. But
that's true.
anything beyond the GameCube, you can make a good argument for the GameCube, I think.
Yeah,
Especially when it comes to the Wii and the Wii U, just based on what was out there at the time.
I think
Um,
the Wii U has gotten its legs, quote unquote, after its death, because the Wii U is a great emulating machine, but it wasn't a
mhm.
great console per se for most people.
I think Wii U's biggest issue was marketing related. I don't think Nintendo knew how to market it. Uh, I think their biggest mistake was calling it the Wii U.
Yeah,
I mean, a lot when it came down to the Wii U, it was just a lot of people just didn't know that it was not just an add-on for their current Wii. I
that's
know so
true.
many people who literally did not realize it was a new system. I remember I went into a GameStop with a friend of mine at the time. We both this was like a couple years after I was working for GameStop. We just went in to shop around and just look around at games and stuff. And she was like, "Oh, what's this? The Wii U? Is this just like a tablet for my Wii?" And
Oh,
I was like, no. I was like, no, that's a whole new system. And this was probably like a year after the Wii U had come out. Um,
that's kind of devastating.
yeah, so I mean, it's yeah, that's what people thought about the Wii in the marketing. I think because in Japan they actually called it the Super Wii, which is a much better naming convention because
So
at least
bad.
people understood the difference between Nintendo and the Super Nintendo.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't think enough people understood the difference between the Wii and the Wii U, and
That's true.
that hurt it. I mean, the Wii U's their worst selling console, maybe other than the Virtual Boy.
Mm.
So
Yeah, actually.
yeah,
Oh,
so it's it was bad marketing. But obviously they've picked up since.
yes.
Um, and
Well,
I think Nintendo needed to learn their lesson from the Wii U to get to the Switch because
yes.
they kind of had it half right. People did want something. that they could take on the go. They wanted something in their hands like a tablet. They just didn't want it only to be attached to a wall or to
Yes.
their TV. They wanted it to actually be a hybrid system, which they got right with the Switch.
And you
So
can. Hold on, I'm just going to turn my stuff up a little bit. You can. Is. Does Nintendo. We'll get into the GameCube in a second, but you guys let me know in the comments section as well. Does Nintendo, because they technically at the time saved the games industry, do they get too many free passes? Because they pulled out some rubbish in the last, I mean, their whole career they pulled out rubbish, but do you think they get too many free passes?
I don't know if they get free passes or if they just live on their own island.
That's true.
I just feel like I just feel like Nintendo does their own thing, and just everybody just like it's Nintendo. We're not going to sway them either way. Nintendo's just going to do what Nintendo wants to do, and they really do not care what
They
anybody else is
don't.
doing. They have their strategy. They're going to stay head down and go for it.
They really don't care what we have to say.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, Nintendo's always been about doing their own thing, and I mean, so far it's worked. I mean, it's had its ebbs and flows,
Yep.
and for all accounts, people consider the GameCube a failure. Um,
And that's
even
mind
like,
blowing to me because people love that console.
yeah, but it was also, not a great seller.
Like the
Um,
Dreamcast.
uh,
It is
yeah,
what it is.
yeah, I mean, it did better than Dreamcast, so there is that.
True, true.
But I think the GameCube and the Xbox are both underrated for that generation, just because the PlayStation just had that market cornered.
Oh, yeah.
Um, and I
Without a
think
doubt.
for a lot of people, it was a big transition period,
Yeah.
because a lot of technology was changing. We were starting to see, online gameplay. You saw going from just a regular CD-ROM into the world of DVD.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a lot of people, like the PlayStation 2 was their first DVD player.
Jesus.
It was it it was my first DVD player hooked up to a TV. I did
Actually,
previously
probably
have
the
a
same. Yeah.
yeah. So I mean, because the only other DVD player I had at the time was in one of the old Gateway computers
Oh, good
uh,
God.
that that we had at the time, and I remember the first DVD I bought for it. It was a classic in cinema, known as Independence Day.
That is a classic.
So,
Independence
which I
Day is
st-
probably one of still my favorite movies.
it's I mean it still holds up. Like,
Yeah. So the Nintendo
I would say
GameCube
it's still a classic.
is a. Make sure you guys also let me know what your favorite GameCube game is, or if you're too young, like myself, that never played it while it launched. What's your favorite game from that generation? If you've ever played the GameCube, and what was your favorite feature? Because, like Hustle said, Nintendo is extremely stubborn. They're more stubborn than Sony, and
Mm.
Sony is stubborn.
Yeah,
Like,
I think Sony for a lot of it, Sony just depends on who's in charge
yes.
and what they decide to do. Whereas Nintendo's just like, we have our strategy and we'll stick with it, you know,
Hmm.
regardless of who's in charge. So
Yeah.
they kind of have their game plan.
And make sure you guys share this stream out. So, for those that don't know, the GameCube came out September 14th, 2001 in Japan, but November 18th, 2001 in North America, and May and still May in 2002 for the EU and AU, so Australia. It was $200, the introductory price, and the code name was Dolphin, which is funny because that is the emulator name for most of the games.
Yeah,
So the or most it's the emulator name, not for most of the games. The
yeah.
worldwide units sold was 21.75 million. in the Americas was 12 million, Japan was 4 million, and other regions were also 4 million. Man, the GameCube was such a, and it's so funny. Like, I look back on it, it had such like great games that I completely forget that the console was like, I mean, I'm looking at the
Yeah.
stats right now are like mediocre stats, but at the time were like
Yeah,
hardcore.
yeah. I mean, it had great games. It had a really cool design. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like the GameCube design. It has the handle on the back,
Mm-hmm.
that makes it transportable. You want to take your GameCube to your friend's house. You already have a handle on the back. Like just the small little design features that Nintendo put in there. The controller was kind of their first modern controller, with two sticks,
Mm-hmm.
because the N64 controller was such a weird thing that it was. That
You're being
this
nice.
this was their answer. Yeah, like the N64 controller sucked. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Um,
it really did.
but they adapted. They adapted, but still stayed their own route, because it's still a very different controller from the PlayStation or the Xbox.
Mm-hmm.
It has the offset sticks, much like the Xbox does. Um, but
It
it's
doesn't
like
have the bumper. Yeah, it doesn't have
it,
bumpers.
it has a bumper.
One,
It
yeah,
has
A.
the Z
It's
button.
true.
Yeah, which is like, which was like a
Confusing.
right bumper essentially. Um, and then the triggers are like weird because they're like they're real thick.
They're thick
Like,
boys. They're thicker than a bowl of oatmeal.
yeah, like the triggers
Thick.
were weird. Um, but the controller's awesome. Like
It's
actually
yeah.
playing with it is a lot of fun. It, especially like because it's a little bigger. I could see people with smaller hands not enjoying both the GameCube or the Xbox controllers much. Um, but for someone
Yeah.
like me that has
With your big hands.
the big fat fingers, these were great controllers for me. Um, and then you had like I mean you had what could be one of the best controller designs in the Wavebird wireless controller, which was their proprietary wireless controller
What an
that
ugly name.
yeah, I mean that's but the thing is, like, it worked better than probably any other wireless controller at the time,
That's true.
because before, like, during this generation and before, wireless controllers sucked.
I
They were
mean,
bad.
let's
They
also
just
count that most of the controllers that people were buying that weren't front with the console were probably Mad Cats. So
This is true, yes. And no, but no other company had put out an actual first party wireless controller before this. At least I don't think so. That there might have been one or two, like, in because I know there were some wireless stuff for like NES and stuff like that, but I don't know if Nintendo actually put those out. But
yeah,
this is the first that I remember, because there was a really good wireless controller, actually, both for PS2 and Xbox. There was a Logitech one. Um,
Logitech has always been really good on that, but their stuff was
yeah,
always expensive at the time too.
yeah, exactly. It was expensive. But I want to say I think the Wavebird was like $40, if I
Oh,
remember
that's
right.
easy breezy beautiful cover girl
There
prices.
you go. You got your ASCII. Yeah, that was a controller for Phantasy Star Online.
Oh my god.
Right there. Because what many people don't know is underneath the GameCube in the bottom, you could plug in a network adapter,
Hmm.
if you could find it,
Of
because they
course.
were very very hard to get, because they were few and far between. But there were some online games for the GameCube, including Phantasy Star Online 1 and 2 and Phantasy Star Online 3, which was a card game,
Of
um,
course it was.
uh, as well as what was probably their most popular online game, Mario Kart Double Dash.
Mm.
So,
Yeah, I mean, any Mario game on any system is gonna sell.
yeah.
So we have, because again, this is a system that I don't have a lot of experience with. 2001, September 14th. That was.
I was a sophomore in high school, so.
But 2001, wasn't that 3 days after 9/11?
Yeah. I
God.
mean, obviously, that was the Japanese release date. So.
Yes. So ours was in November.
Yeah, so it wouldn't have had as big of an effect
Yeah.
on the Japanese market as it would have here.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Of course.
But then again, 9/11 was only a couple months after 9/11. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was too young at the time, I guess, to realize like what kind of sweeping changes would affect like a console release. Maybe shipping stuff via plane or something may have been affected a little bit there, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was the primary way of them shipping stuff, or if they were just shipping it all by boat. Like I don't know the shipping means or anything like that. So
yeah. I think the GameCube is now looked at fondly, but like the Dreamcast, looked at fondly, but at the time wasn't appreciated. But now we can have shows like this where we appreciate stuff.
Definitely.
And we're gonna go
I
through
think
a few lists.
Yeah, actually, before we get to a list,
Yes, Oppa.
I have I literally just wanna read out the lineup of launch titles.
Oh shit! Okay.
For the GameCube, because I just want everybody to realize like this was a very normal launch, and let me tell you, these launches were the best as far as top quality titles. Let me tell you. So for the GameCube, we start off with the biggest hits in All-Star Baseball 2002 from Acclaim.
Acclaim was good at one time.
Acclaim, you know what? Acclaim did some good stuff.
They did.
Honestly, I have no idea whether All-Star Baseball 2002 was good or not.
Yeah.
Because I just didn't play it. But I can tell you the next title, Batman Vengeance.
That's a good game.
Was it?
Yes, I recently, I'm gonna do a retrospective on it, and
okay, I was gonna ask because like I have not played that one either. So
it's not fair because in our brains we're still thinking of the Arkham games, so it's never gonna be as good as an Arkham game, but it's not bad for what it was.
Well, I mean, it was Ubisoft Montreal that made it, so
yeah.
So it definitely has something behind it. Crazy Taxi, which is a good game.
Crazy Taxi.
Which may have been one of the bigger launch titles to get. You had Dave Mirra's Freestyle BMX 2.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean, look, if you liked Tony Hawk, but like, bikes.
Yeah.
There you go.
Like Kelly Slater's surfer stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what that was at the time. And then we got Disney's Tarzan Untamed. Another Ubisoft Montreal joint right there.
Of course it was.
Because licensed game were the thing back then.
Mm-hmm.
We had, which was probably, actually looking at the rest, this is like the big launch title, Luigi's Mansion. So Luigi's Mansion is like the big hit from Nintendo during this launch, which might go to show why the GameCube wasn't a banger out the gate. Not that Luigi's Mansion was bad, it's just that I don't think people knew what Luigi's Mansion was, and
it's Luigi, not Mario.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you had Madden 2002, which, I mean, that's no surprise. Madden pretty much launches with every system, ever.
Yep.
NHL Hits 2002.
Okay.
Which was a Midway game.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Which Midway is no longer with us.
Rest in peace. They were good.
We had what is actually probably one of the best Star Wars games. You go back a couple episodes and see the reference. Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader
Ooh.
from Factor 5 and LucasArts was a launch title, and that was actually a really good one. Another Sega title, Super Monkey Ball.
Oh, look at
Which
my retrospective pops up right when you search that title.
nice.
Super Monkey Ball. Monkey Ball is one of those weird games you don't think it's fixing a takeoff, and then it does, and you're like, well, I guess this is what it is. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, like it's a good time waster, I would say.
Yeah, they really are.
Monkey Ball. Yeah. And then another actually like really great game, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Can't go wrong with Tony Hawk during this period of time.
Right.
That's for sure. And then I think this is the last one on launch day, which was Wave Race Blue Storm.
Wave Race games were fire back in the day.
Yeah, I mean that was also a Nintendo title. So really, the only two first-party titles for Nintendo at launch was a Luigi's Mansion and Wave Race Blue Storm.
Jesus.
So yeah, so not a lot of they didn't bring out a lot of the heavy hits for launch.
But also, look at the consoles that we have right now that just launched 6 months ago. What was
I mean, you're right.
Titles for those.
You're right. I would say kind of this past launch is probably the weakest we've had in a long time. Compared
because we've
to
had no launch titles for them technically.
Yeah, I mean probably since this era, like because the PlayStation 2 launch was not great. The Xbox launch had Halo, and I think that might be really about it. So I mean it's kind of it was really about one or two games a lot of the time.
Yep.
Unfortunately, with these launches, so.
And
but
I'll take it because Luigi's Mansion turned out to be a fire game.
However, coming in December, just a few weeks after launch, we got all the extreme sports we needed.
Of course.
We got Extreme G3.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
We got SSX Tricky.
Oh, the best snowboarding games you'll ever play, and I play steep, so I'm gonna say SSX Tricky was probably the best snowboarding game you'll ever play.
Definitely. And then you had the actual banger for the GameCube, which probably is what started to sell the system at this point. Super Smash Bros. Melee.
Oh, Smash. And Chocolaka's in the chat, so he put it in there too. Smash Melee, which came out a month after launch. He's a big Smash player.
Yep. Yeah. And you know what? Chocolaka is such a big Smash player that he knows the only real way to play it is with items on. Just like it's supposed to be played.
Bro, the last Smash game I played was Brawlhalla, so I can't speak.
Because, I mean, that's the only fun way to play a Smash Brothers game, is if you're throwing stars at each other, okay?
Right?
Give me that Nintendo Blasto to blast my friends in the face, alright? That's what I want out of my Smash Brothers, okay?
I love Trevor. Love you, Trevor. So, Trevor just went through the launch titles. And we can look, I mean, everything is in hindsight. We can look back now and say, oh, those are some of the greatest games. I mean, Luigi's Mansion is a banger. But
yeah, I don't think, like I said at the time, I don't think people knew if Luigi's Mansion would be anything, if it would be good. Obviously, it's not like it's not a Mario game. It's not one of their top tier hits, but it does decently well for them. It's one of their, for lack of a better term, it's kind of one of like their top like B tier hits.
It honestly is because they had a whole bunch of branch off games in the previous era that didn't really do well, and Luigi was one of those ones. I mean, it's so good we have Luigi's Mansion 3 to this day. It's like, okay, Luigi, it's one of those ones. What's another game? Near Automata. That is one of those kind of like you didn't really expect it to take off, but it did because
Hmm.
Nier is a very specific like Soulsborne type of game that if you don't like the way Platinum does games, you're not gonna like that type of game. But it took off. I know people that don't play those games that have like, yeah, Nier, play it, it's great.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's got like a very the Nier games have very like a very Japanese sensibility to them.
So
Um,
Japanese.
yeah, like it's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, I liked Nier
I love
Automata
Nier.
from what from what I played.
It's
Um,
so good, and it's on Game Pass if you guys want to play it.
yeah, yeah,
And
and all the cool kids are doing Game Pass.
all I mean, all the cool, sensible kids in this era of COVID where everything is expensive for $11, you can play all the Yakuza games up until 6. You can play Near Automata. You can play a whole bunch of indie games. I mean, Spiritfarer is on there, and if you've been on my Twitter, you know how I'm a banger for Spiritfarer, and I can't wait till there's a physical edition, and I'm going to buy it. I just need to get myself a Switch because it's probably going to release on Switch, but I don't want to buy it on PS4 because of that CMOS issue, but I'll figure that out myself. But tell us what your guys' favorite GameCube game is, because I want to know. Chocolate says Smash Melee, but tell me, because you guys are all
But yeah,
old.
we
I say that with the
but
most
we
love
know
in my heart.
but we know you got some lists there.
I
So,
got list. All right, so let's start with, because you're gonna have to some
so
insight on this. The best
yeah,
multiplayer games.
so I will say too, and we're definitely gonna miss games. There were
Mhm.
650 some games for the GameCube.
Yep.
We could literally go through the list one by one of each single one, but
Yeah.
we'd be here for 7 hours and it would be boring.
Yes,
Because most of those games nobody's gonna care about.
that's true.
So,
What is your favorite GameCube game?
um, that's
Oh,
a good question.
that sounds tough because usually you got it like
Um,
at the tip of your tongue.
Well, I mean, my default would probably be Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
Because I'll forever consider that a GameCube game.
I mean,
It
yeah, it
launched
is
on
a
GameCube. It was, yeah, it was a GameCube exclusive for at least a year.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say probably Resident Evil 4. The Metroid Prime games are up there.
Okay. As somebody who's never played, I've only played the original Metroid. Sell me on these new Metroids because I've only played the first one. Sell me on them. What is Metroid Prime and why should I play it? Because everybody loves Prime, and I'm like, why do I have to play this?
I mean, the thing is, Prime takes that formula, the exploration, you know,
Mhm.
basically what the essence of a Metroidvania game where you're searching, and trying to find upgrades and all that stuff. Except they turn it into a first-person shooter.
Oh, okay.
So it's all first-person exploration, but it still has a lot of puzzle solving. And it kind of has a lot more lore and stuff too, because you actually like scan like the environment and stuff like that at times, and it's just a really cool set of games, which is why I really hope they re-release that trilogy they put out on
Oh God, yeah.
and put it on the Switch. Which they might do. I mean, maybe they're just waiting for it to be closer to when Prime 4 comes out, so which makes a lot of sense. But
I don't know if
but
that's
yeah,
coming
they're
out. I mean, it has to logically.
yeah, they're developing it. I mean, they said it's in development. So, but I think when they announced it, it was super
early.
early in development. Yeah,
mean,
so
Look at Bayonetta 3. We got a gameplay trailer, but all the assets are not a gameplay. We got a trailer, but all the assets were from Bayonetta 1. So it's like Bayonetta 3 hasn't been announced as far as I'm concerned. We know it's coming. We knew from the end of 2 that it had to come, but it's not here yet. And Platinum has been busy.
just a dash.
Yeah.
Just a tad.
I love Bayonetta. I got my fix for Bayonetta with Lady Dimitrescu, so like I'm ready for my other big body bay. I will say.
You ready to jump in?
Oh, I'm so face first ready. My favorite GameCube game is, and I hate horror games, but I love this game, is Eternal Darkness.
I knew you were gonna say that. Right when you said I hate horror games. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah. What the heck? Silicon Knights.
Mm-hmm.
This was like the GameCube was like their time to shine.
It really was.
Because they did Eternal Darkness and they did the Metal Gear Solid Twin Snakes, the remake of the first Metal Gear Solid. So this was their system to shine, and then it all went downhill from here.
Yeah.
Quite literally, unfortunately.
We'll have to dive into that one night.
Oh man, that's a
sad. So I also don't want to cover like Pandemic Studios or like Human Head. It's like, oh, I don't want to cover the downfall. Damn. Okay.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that there's a ton of good studios that were doing things at this time that just the way the industry shifted just kind of made them irrelevant, unfortunately.
I mean, it happens, and that talent goes on, or hopefully, I should say that talent goes on to other things, but it's kind of devastating.
Yeah.
So,
it is very unfortunate to see.
We're going to talk about the best multiplayer games first, because Trevor, you can get into it. The multiplayer is not what we expect, where, every game, Outriders is multiplayer and whatever. This was a 2001. I'm pretty sure I still had, like, dial-up, or at least was on the beginnings at the end of dial-up at that time. So explain to us what the internet was like at that time, old man.
So I definitely had high speed at this point.
Fancy.
So I was definitely on high speed. I know my family was definitely one of the first in our area to be on that high speed train. It was one of those things where, because before that we had a dial-up line. My mom's work basically like paid for a line. So we had we had a second phone line that was just for the internet. So I was lucky in that aspect, because it was one of those things where it's like, don't have to worry about someone picking up the phone and disconnecting my multiplayer game of Age of Empires to
nerd.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, at this point, it was very laggy. Lag was kind of expected. At points. Yeah, online games were way different. It was like it was much simpler of a time. So, but yeah, the GameCube. When we're talking multiplayer, the majority of it was not online.
Yes.
It was mostly like in person, and honestly that's kind of where, if you look at the GameCube itself and the Xbox, that's where they differed from the PlayStation. Yeah. Whereas the PlayStation only had 2 controller ports on the front. You could play more than 2, but you had to pay an extra $25 to $30, I think, was about the price of a multi-tap.
Oh my god.
So yeah, you had to buy a multi-tap and then plug that in. So basically, because I know for PlayStation I had a multi-tap because me and my friends wanted to play Champions of Norath. So
I was about to say, the only game I can think of for multiplayer is Champions of Norath on PlayStation.
That is literally what we bought a multi-tap for, was Champions of Norath.
I mean,
And we played
that
that in
game
Champions Returned Arms.
is so good.
It is good. It is good.
Like,
Um,
devilishly good. I wish I would pay for a remaster. I don't care. Give it to me.
yeah, I totally would. I mean, I paid for a stupid Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance remaster, so I would definitely, because it's the same. It was the same company that made them. It's just different universes. So
Bruh. I'm saving up to buy Stalker 2. Like, I yeah, I'm doing a retrospective on the other games. I'm not a super
yeah,
fan of Chernobyl, but I just am like, yo, you're bringing. We need to show these companies to do these old games in the right way. You can't just do like they're doing some of them now, or like movies are doing, slap a brand new cast on it and expect it to be good. Like, no, do the Final Fantasy treatment to it. That's what I want. That's how you're
yeah.
gonna get my money. And I'm cheap, not cheap, but like I'll pick and choose my.
Well, and I think it also depends on the pricing. Um, if you're bringing out literally just a re-release, I don't think it can be more than $20. Um, I think $20 is kind of
It
your max
shouldn't
there.
be.
Yeah. Um, if it's more than $20, like I would say it's not worth it. Like I mean, I bought the Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance re-release. It's 30. If I had not had a $10 Xbox credit, I would not have bought it
Oh
because
wow.
I was not gonna spend more than $20 on it. And I was right in my thinking on that. Like it's still good. Like I still think it's a lot of fun to play. Um, but it's very much an older game.
Oof.
Uh, but and they didn't add anything to it. It's literally just a re-release. They upscaled it a little bit, but it's like, yeah, it still looks like an old game. Like it's not.
Oh Jesus.
Uh, it, they didn't change anything. They didn't change anything. They didn't add anything. It's literally a re-release. So if you're expecting something more out of that, don't, because
Yeah.
it's not.
That's kind of
But yeah,
frustrating.
let's yeah, like, but I also knew that going in.
That's true.
I
They
knew
didn't
I
market
knew
it as
that's
something. It wasn't.
yeah, like they're just like, hey, this is just a re-release. Like, and I'm just like, okay, I'm cool with that because that's all I really. I'm fine with that, especially if they point it out. But I just
Mhm.
didn't think their pricing was quite where I would put it. Um,
Yes.
like I said, I think $30 is a little too much, but I think $20 is fine
Yeah,
for a re-release like that.
I'll take 30 because thank God I had bought Kingdoms of Amalur years ago and you got a discount
Mm,
if you owned it for the first like 2 weeks because I still haven't played the re-release, but from what I've heard the
yeah,
re-reckoning was a mess. It's kind of like leveled out, but like damn. I think it's still 60 if I'm not mistaken. At least in Canada.
it's
Canada
it's
prices or
been
whatever.
I've seen it on sale a lot.
Yeah,
So
that I
I've
can
seen it
see.
anywhere from like 20 to 25 generally, which I would
Yeah.
say probably isn't a bad price for it. I would say it's probably good at that price.
Oh yeah. Amalur is one of those, if you love Dragon Age um 2 probably more than Origins, you're going to love Amalur cuz it's just so much of that vein. But
Yeah,
it does have issues.
it's a bit more open. It's a bit more.
Mhm.
It's almost like that mixed with Skyrim, in a sense.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I remember trying to sell the hell out of Amalur when it came out because it came out like
So
kind of
good.
the perfect time where people were kind of done with Skyrim at that point
Yep.
because Skyrim had come out in November and I think it was like March or April maybe when Amalur came out. So it was
Seriously,
just
go
about
pick
that
it up,
time where
yo.
like people had played through Skyrim, so it was like they were looking for something new, and it's like, hey, try this.
People have
Um,
finished Skyrim? I think I've only finished it like twice ever.
I literally did everything in that game
Yeah.
when it came out. So,
Like I've
but
done
I
so
have not gone
much.
back and done it again.
There you go.
I'm tempted to on Xbox Series X just because like why not? But
Exactly. You know what? The only thing I'm surprised by is it's not the full edition with the DLC and stuff. I was like, oh, I
Mm,
thought you would
yeah.
be. If you're on PC and you like Skyrim and you want to spend more time in that world, I will recommend Stories of End It All. It started off as
Hmm.
its own standalone DLC, but End It All is it's think of hardcore Skyrim because it doesn't like do the system, you know, how Skyrim has where the more you hit or the more you do, it upgrades. It's based on certain things you complete and then you get the points. So it's like hardcore Skyrim, but it's the story's just so good. And it's about, I would say, easy 200 hours if you're going to explore that world because it's a whole different world than Skyrim and it's been in the works for so long. Like Sky Oblivion and all
Crazy.
that. It's
Yeah.
so good. And it's free. So go play it.
Crazy.
But
Craziness.
anyway, GameCube, multiplayer online
GameCube
games.
multiplayer.
So this is from 1:37 p.m. Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Which one was the first?
No, that would definitely be Melee for GameCube. What? That's
Although, yeah, it's like Bros, and then okay, it says although Smash
yeah.
Bros. Melee is rightfully considered the best of the franchise, we would be remiss not to mention Brawl. Here as well, Brawl is traditionally considered to be a bit slower and less responsive, but it is still super fun game to enjoy with your friends. Melee is definitely the right choice for hardcore competitors, but Brawl is an amazing combat game that will be exceptionally playable for years to come.
Yeah, that's weird because it was definitely not on GameCube. So
I was like, this is because this is a Wii trailer.
yeah, that was definitely not on GameCube.
Okay, we're gonna skip
So
past that.
yeah, let's skip past that.
Mario Strikers.
Super Mario Strikers was the soccer game. I this was like the era of like, hey, Mario likes sports. Let's put him in sports games.
That's
Uh-huh.
yeah. Next
So
level games,
that
they're also not around anymore.
yeah. So I don't think I ever played Strikers.
I,
I think I played a little bit of the baseball one.
I don't think I've played any of the sports branch. I was about to say I don't think I played any Mario
Yeah,
branch off, but I don't think I played the sports ones.
I've heard good things about it though.
There,
I've heard it's really fun.
I've heard the Olympic games are like Sonic, Olympic games are banging, but I'm just like I can't. I don't want to play an Olympic game.
Hmm.
It's not
Yeah,
my thing. Even if it's
yeah,
Mario. So,
but
oop,
yeah, I did hear good things about Strikers. Which I mean, if you're into sports, if you're into soccer, it's gonna be, that with a Mario tinge. There's probably some sort of like power up thing
yep.
system in there, that sort of thing. So I have no doubt that they're a lot of fun.
Pimpkin 2.
Pikmin.
Pikmin. What did I. Okay, my
Pikmin.
brain is like, hey.
Pikmin.
Watching
The
Pikmin.
Pikmin games.
Have you seen any of the
I
speed runs for these games?
No, I haven't actually.
They're ridiculous. I'm like, oh, I would have never thought in my brain to use anything that way. Okay.
Yeah, the Pikmin games are also games that I never got around to playing.
Me either.
But I've always heard good things about them. Uh,
They're very much.
I,
I'm trying to think of a game that came out recently, but I can't remember the name of it. But those games, yeah.
yeah, I know
Isn't
there's strategy
Pikmin
games.
3 coming out?
I
I thought that was announced a while ago.
Yeah, it's. Can't remember if it's coming or if it's out.
Yeah, I don't know
I
anymore.
could have swore it came out, maybe.
What is time anymore?
Yeah, it's been a while. Um, I think it might have came out, but
Probably.
I can't remember.
It's just one of those series. I'm surprised this wasn't a launch title because this is like quintessential Nintendo.
It came out really soon after.
Uh,
Yeah, it came out in December as well, actually.
oh, damn.
So,
Only our consoles could get some December nudges.
right?
Like, don't get me wrong, I'm probably gonna get a PlayStation 5 eventually with the disc.
Yeah.
For collection's sake, though. not for gameplays. I'm still trying to finish off my. I'm trying to finish off God of War, Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm trying to finish off all my PlayStation games before I like retire it to like my PlayStation 3 status, where it's like when I'm feeling good and I want to reminisce, that's when I'll bring it up. I still got to play through
Yeah,
all
makes
the
sense.
Uncharted games. I've never played an
Yeah,
Uncharted game.
that's it's a
Surprising, right?
crying shame. It's a crying shame.
I own them all now thanks to a Black Friday sale, so I will play them, probably stream them. But yeah, I don't know why I never played them because they were right in that period of. There was like a period of time where Tomb Raider wasn't doing anything, so I should have
Yeah, I
played
was
them.
gonna say, yeah, as much as you like Tomb Raider, like it just it boggles my mind that
Yeah.
you never dipped your toe into the Uncharted series.
Well, I never really
But
got into like heavy video games until like grade 12 in high school, where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do some heavy video gaming. Okay. Like I did the weekend stuff, but I was like, now I'm gonna play video games heavy now. And at that time, it was when I started my YouTube channel, so it was a lot of Call
and
of Duty, a lot of League of
it makes you
Legends.
sound like you were getting into drugs at the time. Like,
I
oh
mean,
man,
we know
when I
video
started
games is a drug.
when I started getting into my heavy video game period.
I mean, League of
Where
Legends is a drug because you become the nastiest person that you could imagine when you're playing League of Legends. This is the complete opposite of yourself. That's what I
do.
was
That's,
like.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good not playing League ever.
I kind of want to get back into it, but at the same time, I just want to play against bots. I don't want to play League anymore. Like I can't go back to that. My mindset was, man, I was an asshole, like an asshole.
Kirby Air Ride.
Kirby.
So what's your favorite part about Kirby games? Is it jumping on a star and racing your friends? No? Okay. Then,
Enjoy it anyway.
yeah, exactly. I mean, that's essentially what Kirby Air Ride is. I like, yeah.
You sound like you're struggling here.
I just, I don't know who this game is for.
Sonic fans.
Other than just like, yeah, like I just don't like, just make a Kirby game, guys. Like,
No, you
yeah,
can't have a Kirby game. You can't watch this giant pink thing suck up everything. He must race now.
I mean, it's probably pretty fun. I mean, Nintendo's pretty good about making games in general.
Yeah.
So I mean, I can't say it's probably like terrible or anything. It's just, man, like,
It's not what Kirby do.
yeah, I don't think they made an actual proper Kirby game for the GameCube. However, they did make the Kirby racing game.
Mm-hmm.
So
Enjoy.
yeah, I just don't understand the I don't understand the logic there. So
Yeah. Well, they don't. They're like, let me put every available franchise I can and that I own into a cheap ass racing game. There you go.
yeah, and that was kind of the thing then. So yeah.
Master Sith
Right.
40, what's up? Thank you. We try to make it cool sometimes. We cool people sometimes.
I do like how the show that we're doing right now is advertised at the end
Right?
of that video.
And right next
So-
to an Achievement Hunter video. So, y'all, come watch.
Yeah,
Tell your
so we're the
grandmama.
same.
I mean, yeah.
We're the same. You know?
Are most of the people who run level 1 are in Texas, so yeah, we're the same. I'm in Canada, so boop. But yeah, tell your grandma. Your grandma might have played some GameCube. Oh, one of the most devastating stories that ripped my soul out of my body was this guy. He was young, and he was talking about how he used to play Animal Crossing, and his mom had cancer, and they would play it together. And then he stopped playing it, but she would keep playing it. And then she passed away from cancer. And
I know this story, yeah.
he hadn't touched it for years. Oh, hold on. He hadn't touched it for years. And then when he went back to it, he just got all these gifts from his mom, like with messages like, hey, I'm thinking of you. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, I've seen that.
That makes me cry
Uh,
every time because I'm just like, that is so. Like, that's the story you want to hear with gaming, but also I would be devastated if that happened to me if I was him. It was like, oh, I should have
yeah,
just spent more time with her.
there's also that story of like I can't remember if it was like Forza, maybe one of the early Forza Motorsports, or maybe one of the Need for Speeds
Yeah.
where like where like the kid like
Uh,
would play it with his dad, and then like his
oh.
dad passed, and then he went back and played, and then like the ghost run of his dad would is in
Oh.
there, so like he would still be able to race against his dad's ghost like
My heart.
time and stuff. Yeah, it was yeah. Uh, that's
Oh.
that's some video game sadness for you, everybody.
Enjoy it.
So speaking of video game sadness, Time Splitters 2
Time
was
Splitters, man. Great series.
so essentially like yeah, Time Splitters was literally like the some of the guys that made uh GoldenEye
Yes.
were like, hey, let's go make our own thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they during I'm pretty sure it was during the development of Perfect Dark, they left, and then they decided to go make Time Splitters, and then Time Splitters 2 was the sequel to that. Um, so it's essentially it's GoldenEye, but it like parodies other video games by having like some time travel stuff, and
Yeah.
yeah, they're fun games though. But it's
Great
very much
arcade
in that
games.
tradition. Yeah, like it's in that Golden Eye, Perfect Dark tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you like those shooters, Time Splitters is a good one to get into, and obviously it has a pretty fun multiplayer that goes along with it.
Speaking of shooters, it was officially released on Internet Archive. There is a full, not full, but like a 8-hour playable build of Gears of War that runs on the PlayStation 3. You can download it from the Internet Archive right now. You can't. You need the dev kit.
Need a dev kit, yeah, to actually run it on my PS3. Yeah,
It will run off of the PlayStation 3 regular emulator, but it's not running well, and it doesn't get past like the opening screen, and if it does, it's like janky. But you can play it right now, and I'm like, that's mind blowing. That those rumors of, oh, it's not true. Yeah, no, it was out there, and they decided to drop it.
Well, no, they did say that they were never going to release it for retail. Yeah. It was literally a test for the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
Because at the time, Epic was the actual developer on Gears.
Yeah.
Before they basically let Microsoft completely take the IP.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it was last year, I think. The rumors of that were like, no, that doesn't exist. It's a myth.
Yeah.
Even when the gameplay came out, it was like, oh, it's disproven as a myth. And now that it actually exists, like, oh, ha,
like, haha.
Eat a dick. Metroid Prime 2.
Yeah,
Echoes. I was like, what's the name of this?
Yeah, I vaguely remember that it had a multiplayer.
Oh my god, that was loud. Jesus.
Yeah,
These just seem like games you don't need multiplayer for.
Yeah, no, not really. I don't think most people were coming to the Metroid Prime games for multiplayer. So that's just it just happened, you know. It was kind of one of those things where it's like, hey, let's add multiplayer.
Yeah, I think it's probably trying to compete with like a COD or a Battlefield, like stick, or a Halo even. Stick multiplayer.
I would say yeah,
in there.
it's probably more Halo, because this was a little before COD.
Yeah.
Probably Halo, maybe like Medal of Honor, perhaps.
Oh God, I love that series.
I think a lot of it was, you know, experimentation. They were seeing what else could they do with these games during this era. So, but yeah, I like because they even did a complete multiplayer version of Metroid Prime for the DS.
The greatest system to have any kind of multiplayer shooter on.
Yeah, it didn't really. It controlled real weird on the DS. Let me just tell you that much. But hey, they tried it.
They did.
But yeah, I I never played it multiplayer, but I heard the multiplayer was fun for Metroid Prime 2. So
I bet you, if you emulate it, there's somebody's has a server up. That's the good thing about these older games.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And that's why I'm so like looking forward to the future of Anthem, because even when EA takes the servers off, there's going to be people that make their own servers and make the game. Like, that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
F-Zero GX. F-Zero is a classic series. Like a classic game series, mate.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like Nintendo just hasn't brought back out in years, and F-Zero is one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
I think this version might be the last one that came out. That, trying to think of any handheld one came out. There might have been a handheld one, but
maybe
as far as like consoles, I'm pretty sure GX was the last one that came out.
I mean, you would know. You were the guy that sold these games.
Well, I was there at the tail end of that. Like, so 2005. So I was there for the transition to the next gen consoles at the time.
Still more knowledge than most people, so.
Yeah, so I want to say I think GX was the last console version, which is, I mean, these were really great racing games.
Yep.
So I don't know how well it sold, which is probably why they didn't make more, would be my guess. But I could, with the Switch doing as well as it's doing, I would be interested to see them maybe try to bring back an old franchise or two, just to test the waters, just to dip their toe in a little bit.
I mean, with how well I know they're not Nintendo franchises, but like Streets of Rage and Battletoads have done, we know that people want the old games. Oh, look, we're advertised again. Yeah.
They want some retro, some nostalgia.
I want that retro nostalgia, especially if I can have, I know Nintendo doesn't do it, but like an achievement on an old game. I don't play games for achievements, but there's something about when you're playing Persona 4 Golden. It's like, oh, that achievement, okay. Damn, okay, I got that achievement. It means nothing, but it's just like, oh, I got that, okay. Damn, you got me, Persona. I want I want something like that. It doesn't have to have achievements, but I just want people to experience Time Crisis and Legend of Mana and all these old games that were so good.
That have been lost to the ether.
That have been. I mean, if you play Octopath Traveler, and you haven't played at least Final Fantasy IV, come on, man. Final Fantasy IX, Final Fantasy III. I can't remember when they went. I think it was probably 6 where they went to full like 3D. The way they did it with the other games, but when you gotta get back, you gotta enjoy that shit, that old stuff, because then you appreciate how far games have come. Like, it's true. It's not a blocky pixely mess.
Yeah, X-Men Legends makes a ton of sense. It's a great multiplayer game. I mean, that's what these games were. They were built for that. They were they're your evolution of beat 'em ups. This was also Snowblind that did these. So not only did they do Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance and Champions of Norrath, they also did X-Men Legends.
Makes sense, because I'm like, those characters look very familiar.
Yeah, like it's all the same. It was also very hard.
Really?
Enough. Yeah, these games were not easy. Even playing Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, like I was like, man, this game's harder than I remember. So
that's how I felt with Beautiful Joe. I was like, damn, this is harder than I remember it being.
Oh yeah, I remember Beautiful Joe being hard. It's ridiculous.
Like, am I dumb and I just can't get through this or something? It's like, no, it's just hard. No. Okay. Man,
not the
these old
case.
games. Don't knock these old games. I love these old games.
Good stuff.
Mario Golf.
Okay,
Toadstool
Mario Golf
Tour.
was the shit.
Was it?
Legitimately.
It was.
So
Trevor said it here.
let's
It's the shit.
look. This was, and I'm not even kidding. This was a peak time for golf games. All right, I'm telling you that right now. Mario Golf, Toadstool Tour, was really fun on the GameCube, and then you go over to the Xbox and you play some Link's 2004, and that was also awesome.
That's true, actually.
So you had your really good realistic one on the Xbox. You had your really good fun, basically Marioized version on the GameCube. I mean, that was the wham bam thank you ma'am of golf games in like the early 2000s here. So
Hot Shots
legit.
Golf. That was my shit back in the day.
Hot Shots Golf was another good one. So I mean that like there were some actually like really good golf games at the time. Man, I miss Link's 2004. I really wish Xbox still did Link's games. Bring back Link's. Do it, Microsoft.
They're not. I mean, they
You're
brought
not
back
going to,
Flight
but
Sim, so they might.
It's possible.
It's highly possible because Flight Sim most people considered a dead series.
Come on, Daddy Phil. Let's do it.
Yeah, see, you gotta call him Big Daddy Phil, and he'll be like, "All right, I got you." Also, Big Daddy Phil, if you want to bring back some golfing games, can you, for fame's sake, bring back Scalebound? Cause that's a a sore spot in his heart. Anytime I bring it up, he looks at me like I murdered his mother. So I'm like, bring back Scalebound, please, so he doesn't look at me like that.
But no, it's yeah, Mario Golf legitimately a really great fun golf game. I would actually definitely recommend it. Bomberman Generation.
Well,
I've played a little bit of Bomberman.
I've never played a Bomberman game, so.
Man, you're missing out. So they just announced today that Bomberman Battle Royale game that they brought out for, I want to say, the Switch, is coming out now for the Xbox here soon. And I was like, oh man, yes.
Might have to be a Cogs play night for that.
Like, Bomberman is so fun. Like, literally, it's just you're literally blowing up stuff. Like, it's essentially almost a puzzle game of trying to outsmart your opponent with bombs. And it's so like it's all just real time placing bombs, making sure to try to avoid them, trying to find power ups, like power ups that will increase the number of bombs you can set, power ups that increase the how large your blown up fire zone is, stuff like that. Power ups that'll let you like kick the bomb in certain directions and stuff like that. Like it's just like it's a really fun multiplayer. Like, chaos will reign, bombs will fly. I'm going to outsmart you, or I'm going to do something stupid like walk into the path of my own bomb exploding and die with trial by fire. I mean, Bomberman games are just so fun when done right. Basically, in the pre-Bomberman Zero era, where they tried to make Bomberman an extreme. Like
with his booty cheeks all out on a Sunday.
Man,
he was
like,
caked up with his legs.
It was very much one of those 2000s, like, oh man, let's give this guy like energy drinks and make him like a badass robot and give him a backstory. It's like, no, damn it, we don't need that. We just need a fun ass cartoony Bomberman blowing people up with his bombs.
It's
and having fun doing it.
Nah, I want a backstory, man. Like, come on. I will play Bomberman eventually, probably.
Yeah, I would actually say like the really good ones, honestly, like the OG, if it didn't run so slow at this point, I would highly recommend it. But like the original Bomberman for like Nintendo was great. Um, it's probably going to be like super slow now though,
Oh,
compared to
probably.
everything else. But like Mega Bomberman for Genesis was really good. I remember that one being really good. I can't remember what the name of the Super Nintendo one was. That one was good as well. So like a lot of the 16-bit era Bomberman stuff, I think still holds up really well,
It
and it's very
slaps,
good. So
as the
yeah,
kids say. Pac-Man.
Pac-Man versus. I vaguely remember this.
I feel like this
Uh,
was probably a cash grab on some kind of anniversary of Pac-Man.
yeah, I mean that's definitely what it was. I, but because I know they released like several games in this, like they weren't all. Well, there were some like weird Pac-Man games too, if I remember right, but they weren't all like of this ilk. They weren't all Pac-Man, but yeah, Namco was going through a weird time at this point. Uh, yeah, Pac-Man versus was interesting, but I never got to play like too much. If I like, I don't remember it well enough.
I mean, I don't know if I had enough friends at this time if I had a GameCube to play GameCube games like that.
Starfox Assault. Okay,
I never.
so
Oh, I have played Star Fox. Never mind. I was about to say something shocking, but I have played a Star Fox game.
so Star Fox Assault was them coming back to the traditional Star Fox game. So this is kind of a true sequel to like say Star Fox 64,
Hmm.
um, or Star Fox for Super Nintendo, that sort of thing. So this is your, I'm in a ship dogfighting, shooting stuff, shooting dudes, blowing up asteroids. I'm a space fox, kind of guy. So that's Star Fox Assault. Uh, Although, yeah, I guess there's some. I didn't realize there was on foot stuff in Assault, but
I didn't realize that either.
yeah. So, because yeah, I don't remember that stuff, but I mean, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
So, because I do actually remember Adventure a lot, because Star Fox Adventures was like literally like the platformer, where like you're
Ugh.
Star Fox in like a jungle, like fighting lizard men, like
Games like this should never be
for
platformers.
no reason, but it was good from what I remember. But it was I forget what it was originally supposed to be because it was supposed to be a different game
I bet.
if I remember right.
Probably a
And then they
Bugsy
just
or
like
something.
and then they put Star Fox in it. Um, but I liked Adventure a lot. Star Fox Assault, like I said, it's closer to the N64 versions and stuff, but obviously they have the on foot stuff. They probably adopt a little bit of that from Adventures because it did come out later.
Yeah.
So
Super Monkey Ball 2. I mean, if you played a Monkey
yeah,
Ball game, you know what a Monkey Ball game is.
yeah. I mean, you got a monkey and a ball, and you're trying to get through this wacky ass course as
Hmm.
fast as humanly possible.
If you
So,
guys ever want to appreciate, like, they're hella basic games, but if you ever want to appreciate how intense these games could be, watch speedruns
oh
of
my god,
them. They're insane. People are
yeah,
crazy.
I like these are the kind of games that give me anxiety
Yep.
because it's like I will sit there like you're high up and you have to make this move quick or it's
Hmm.
like you're done. Like it's like fast action, you know.
Yep.
Yeah, I get so much anxiety playing these games, which is probably why I do not play them very often. But
Which makes sense for your own mental health.
yeah, so
Super Monkey.
but they're good.
Oh, they're good. They're just intense. Mario Power Tennis. I mean, we've talked about the sports games. Nintendo,
Yeah, Mario sports games like
they're weird, but they
uh
put out good sports games.
yeah, like even the Switch version of this, like you know, the newer one of this is very good. They're fun.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I mean, if you like tennis and want to play a good tennis game,
Yep.
I mean, you can't go wrong with Mario Tennis, to be completely honest.
Mario, yeah. Their games are I don't know why how Nintendo does it that most of their cuz these I guess would be like B games offshoots. They're still good.
Hmm. Yeah,
Like still banging, still out here. You could Godzilla. So,
Godzilla,
is
destroy all
this
monsters.
based off of the shush? Is this based off so this is a 3D version of the arcade game if I'm watching this trailer, right? Because there was Godzilla versus Donkey Kong. Or there was an old arcade game where oh no, this is a fighting game.
Yeah, this
Never
is a
mind.
fighting game. Yeah.
I was
Hmm.
thinking of Rampage.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, this was a fighting game. I didn't play it, so
Yeah.
Godzilla wasn't on my radar at that time. Um,
Yeah. This seems like a game that I mean, you had so many other fighting games to play at this time. Godzilla, especially this was like movie franchise. He was stuck deep in that movie franchise era. Yeah, I wouldn't have played this at all.
yeah, it's very much a. I mean, this was the era of licensed games, so
And I
it
love
existing
licensed
doesn't
games.
surprise me. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, not this.
I've never been I've never been a big Godzilla or kaiju guy, so
Yeah.
it just wouldn't have been my thing. Um,
Holiday 22 no, not 22. 2002. Jesus.
Heck yeah.
Merry
Mario.
Double Dash.
A lot of people argue that this is the best one, uh,
Wow.
the best Mario Kart.
I'm kind
Uh,
of surprised.
I don't know if it is, but it's a good one.
Well, it's the arguments
I
of
like that.
here,
You
this is
know,
better.
yeah. I mean, the being able to switch between the characters while driving. It had online functionality. Had multiplayer, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was a good addition
I mean,
of
these
the
games have never been bad. Any kind of like
yeah.
dash or kart games have always been good.
Yeah, I don't think you can go wrong.
Battle Stadium, Battle Stadium, Dion, Don.
DON. Yeah, I
The
mean it basically looks like a precursor to
Jump Force.
yeah, Jump Force, yeah.
Okay, I mean Jump Force has gotten better, but Jump Force is still not like a banging game. If you really
Yeah.
love those animes, yeah, okay, but Jump Force has its issues. I want to see some gameplay of this because now I'm like, oh, that was a whole cross shot. Okay, Goku up here, Naruto up here with his nuts all out. Okay,
Oh, so
One Piece has been going on forever.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I wasn't much of an anime guy either, so yeah, it wouldn't have hit me. But here, back at Smash Brothers Melee, not a surprise. It's probably going to be at the top of many lists,
Of course.
at least towards the top. Uh,
When?
Again, better with weapons, with
Of course.
items.
Yep. I
You
mean,
know, it's the only way to play it, really,
why
really,
collect them
guys.
if you don't use them?
Yeah, exactly.
When did they bring in amiibos? Was that in the Wii U era?
That was yeah,
Oh wow.
3DS, Wii U, yeah,
Jesus. And amiibos are like, not that they're. I don't think they've lost their relevancy because people but I guess they've lost their relevancy in games because I know people that collect them just
Yeah,
to collect them now.
right.
Damn,
Which, I mean, ultimately is what Nintendo wants you to do, is collect them.
that's true. Yeah,
Because it keeps putting money in their pocket. So,
it's Nintendo,
but yeah,
suck up all your money.
but Melee is pretty much regarded as the best of the Smash Brothers. Like
Yeah,
I like I personally couldn't tell you like the real difference between any of them. Um,
yeah,
I've never been like a huge like Smash Brothers guy, but I like when I play them, I have fun. I just
yeah.
am not great at them. Uh,
Yeah, I'm bad at those kinds of. Again, we've come into this.
yeah,
I
we've established.
love fighting games. Can't play them to save my life.
Mm, yeah, yeah, I'm pretty much in that same boat. And it's really because items are the best way to play a game like that. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
it's
I
just the way.
agree. Look, I'm not trying to have a headache. I'm not trying to prove myself to anybody. I'm struggling through this game, so I gotta win somehow.
Yeah, exactly. If I wanna, if I wanna
Mhm.
pick up a Pokeball and smack you in the face with it,
Mhm.
just let me pick up a damn Pokeball.
Exactly. I could cheat or I could play with items. What do you want? I'm
Exactly.
surprised that a Medal of Honor game is at number 2. Well, I guess for online games, yeah.
I was gonna say you shouldn't be. Well, it's not necessarily online; it is multiplayer.
Yeah.
Um, and Medal of Honor European Assault was a very good game
European
at
Assault
the
is
time. I
so
mean,
good.
yeah, like I think a lot of people forget, and that's Medal of Honor was the precursor to Call of Duty. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of the team that made the original PC versions of Medal of Honor went on to make Call of Duty, and then
Mhm.
went on to make Titanfall. So, I mean,
Mhm.
you have a huge lineage that pretty much goes back to Medal of Honor,
Mhm.
and it's no surprise that Medal of Honor had a really great uh, multiplayer system on consoles before that. So,
Medal of Honor, Brothers in Arms. Man, those games you gotta appreciate where you come from with your sliding
hmm
on the walls and Call of Duty shit.
yeah,
God, I love those
yeah.
old games. And number 1 is okay. I'm surprised that there is no other party game on here.
Yeah, I want to say like GameCube probably had the most entries of
Yeah,
Mario Party games, if I remember right.
I think so.
I know 4, 5, 6, and maybe in 7, maybe I think we're on GameCube.
I'm gonna say you're right.
Although 7 might have been on Wii. I have to
It
actually look that
it was
up.
probably one of those weird late crossover things. But these party games, bruh, you can either make
Yeah,
friendships or lose friendships in these party games.
so yes, Mario Party 7 was on GameCube.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it was okay. Uh, and then Mario Party 8 was the first one on Wii.
Jesus. And
I
then
remember part.
Switch is 10
I
or 9.
Yeah, I very much remember. Yeah, so I think 9 was also on Wii maybe, and then 10 is the one on. Yeah, I can't remember.
Yeah,
Anyway,
they all start to blend
so
together.
I remember the Wii one a lot because that was about to come out when I moved to Maryland for 3 years.
Oh,
Um,
Jesus.
and I remember it because I had gone from essentially working in a store where it was, hey, all the shoppers in this store are, like
Mm.
blue collar, small town Ohio shoppers to the store that I worked at in Maryland, even though I was never affluent, was a very rich area, and literally when when people were coming in to buy Mario Party, I just remember asking several upscale mothers if they would like to pre-order any more games, and I would literally just list off a bunch of games to them, and they'd be like, "Yes, just pre-order them all."
Oh my
And I'd
god.
be like, "Okay," because that's so. Yeah, the store I worked uh, in Maryland, at least the first one was in like a rich part of Maryland, and was yeah, we sold a lot of stuff there, and it was super easy.
Jesus
Um,
Christ.
and that was a fun time in my career there.
I can
Um,
imagine. Jesus, that just sounds like you sneeze and you're making all the money.
yeah, yeah, it was a crazy time, and it was also like right before a few months before Halo 3 came out, and we had like 600 pre-orders on that game.
Oh my god.
Um, it was that day was ridiculous. Let me just say that.
I can
Uh,
imagine. Oh my god. So,
man, yeah. I'll save the like Halo 3 launch was a thing, but
oh,
we'll
we're gonna
talk
save
about
that
that on a yeah.
for when you have your just stories podcast, because I need to hear some of those. So, this, as I lose my voice, is IGN's best GameCube games of all time, and I am ashamed that they put. I'm not ashamed for myself. I'm ashamed for them that they put one of the best GameCube games, Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem, at number 25. I'm glad it's on this list, but to put it at number 25, that game pretended to delete your save. It turned off your volume. It messed with you. Like, I would love to see this adapted to modern stuff. It's like, oh, what game is it? There's a couple games that do it on, like, if you're playing on PC and it will read your internal clock and it sees, oh, you're like, it's 4 a.m. It'll whisper your name into your ears, like,
Mm.
quietly. It's like, I want the game to do stuff like that. Or like
Yeah,
Alien
and this was
Isolation.
kind of like this was kind of during like the PS1 into this era.
Yeah.
You had those games that were starting to use other peripherals in creative ways, like it's reminiscent of Metal Gear Solid that would read your memory card and be
Yeah.
like, you played this and this, and it's like, what? How do you know, sir? And
Right?
stuff like that. Uh,
Yeah,
to
it's
mess with you,
different
stuff
time, man.
yeah, it was super different, super interesting the way that those quote unquote gimmicks were working out. So it was a cool time for games when they tried to do some different things.
I mean, I definitely want games to get back to that because that was mind blowing. I think the last game that got me like that was Arkham Asylum, where they pretended your game had crashed. It's like, oh, okay, and then you play as Batman, who's playing in the role of Joker. Is like that was cool. I need more of that stuff. Just mess with me, make me like.
Yeah,
I mean, technically Arkham Knight. I'm not gonna spoil it because I understand. I played on PC, so there was a lot of people who had issues with it. They did have that big mess with you right from the start of the game to the like the middle of it. It's like, oh damn, you got me. Okay, damn it, you got me. I want more games to just mess with my mind, but I don't know if we'll ever get that again. I was hoping for that for Vampire the Masquerade too, but that game is never coming out now. So
we'll see. I mean, it's It's possible. There
It's
is a
possible.
Dying Light event, Dying Light 2 event this week now. So,
That's true.
so
That's
if that's
true.
coming, if that's actually coming out, maybe there's some hope for Vampire the Masquerade 2. Both of those games I really want to see. But
Right?
yeah, Eternal Darkness was one of those games that's just it was weird in during the best time,
Mm-hmm. And
and
it's like a quintessential Xbox or not GameCube game.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't released anywhere else. Like
Yep.
it lived on the GameCube. It died on the GameCube, unfortunately.
Yeah. God, what a great game. WarioWare. Mega Party
Hell
Games.
yes. WarioWare is so fun.
God,
Like,
he's thick, boy. Look at
uh,
them arms.
I I really like. For some reason, maybe it's just uh, the fat guy in me that's just like, I love Wario. Um, it's like, I feel a kindred spirit connection, with Wario, because I'm gonna win. And no, I love the WarioWare games. They're
Bangers.
simple, they're fun. It's all just it's literally 3-second micro games. Just have some fun, figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing them since the GameCube. They've been doing them, on like Game Boy, DS,
Mm-hmm.
Wii, and the fact is with every system and everything that changes, whether it be the touchscreen being something different or the Wii remote being something different, they
Mm-hmm.
change the way that those micro games work and play. So you always have to kind of adjust your thinking and think on your feet.
Mm-hmm.
And then in WarioWare, here on GameCube too, they had 4-player multiplayer
Jesus.
with it, where you would compete in different mini games within the micro game, or well, like yeah, so
Yeah.
you would compete in the micro games within mini games, where you would against each other. So it was fun. Like it was really good stuff.
Yeah.
Um, it's like this is like peak Nintendo. Like I want more WarioWare.
Yes.
Give me a damn Switch WarioWare game. All right, do it.
Hopefully it's on its way.
Give it.
Hopefully. Luigi's Mansion. Oops. I
Yeah, we've
mean,
we've talked a bit about Luigi's Mansion. Um,
yeah. If you
yeah,
haven't
like
played it by
it's
now, come on.
yeah, they're cool games. I mean, it's basically Ghostbusters in a mansion, and
Mm-hmm.
you're Luigi. Like, what more could
Mm-hmm.
you ask for?
Right?
Probably a lot, but what more should you ask for? Nothing.
I mean, you got Guigi now, so be
Heck
grateful.
yeah, Luigi.
Guigi. Beyond Good. Was this an exclusive?
I know that most people tie it to the GameCube. Um, it might have been
Because I'm
on
like,
GameCube first.
I remember
It
PlayStation 2 ads for this.
Yeah, it was definitely on PlayStation 2 and on Xbox. But I know most people associate it with the GameCube,
Yeah.
which I'm okay with.
Yeah.
I never really got the chance to play much of it. The little bit that I did play, I liked.
Same.
Um, it's very much a action platformer,
Mm-hmm.
from that era. So, if you were into that type of game, it was pretty good. It had the photography mechanic,
Mm-hmm. Good
that was
characters.
different. Yeah. So,
I
will we ever see a sequel? I don't know.
Oh, I think, especially now that one of the heads of the studio has left, I don't think we'll ever see. If we do see it, okay, but I won't be mad if we never see it again, to be honest. Because it was such
Yeah,
a
it just
product of
I don't
its
know.
time.
And watching what they had planned for the sequel, I don't know if I was excited for
Yeah.
it.
uh,
It
It was
didn't
definitely
really.
to hook new people in more than the people who
Yeah,
had
it didn't.
played did.
It didn't draw me in personally, but I
Uh,
mean that's not to say it wouldn't have been good in seeing the final product. Like I wouldn't have been in, but
yeah.
uh, But yeah, it's one of those where it's like, if it ever does come out, I'm interested to seeing what that game is actually going to be because I have no idea.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, because it's like Duke Nukem. It's so removed from when the first or the last game came out that I'm like, you could take it in any direction. That's why I'm so
yeah.
interested in the Perfect Dark. It's like you could Perfect Dark story was shite. I think we can all agree on that. It was weird.
Hmm.
So like you can take it in any direction you want to. You can make Joanna Dark anything you want her to be. And that's why I'm so excited to see it cuz not maybe not excited, but like I'm interested because yeah, exactly. It can go anywhere. It's not confined to
Yeah.
anything. It's been 15 plus years since Perfect Dark, and we're gonna. I know the other Perfect Dark games came out, but we're not gonna count them since Perfect Dark 1 came out. It's been so long. Those other games were awful. Oh my god.
You
We
know,
don't count them.
I remember Zero, and
Mm.
I remember me and my buddy Tim looking at looking at reviews as the 360, like right before the 360 came out, and being like, man, Perfect Dark Zero is getting nines. Heck yeah. It was no, what, like what? Like,
Yeah.
why were you giving that game nines? It was
I
not
mean,
that good.
Cyberpunk has like 80s and 90s, and Cyberpunk is not worth your money right now, so
Yeah, sometimes reviews just don't get it right. Um,
they really don't. Skies of Arcadia Legends. Skies of Arcadia is a banging series.
yeah, I'm surprised that it hasn't come back. I wonder who. Trying to remember who actually
Let's see. Oops. Skies of
who did
Arcadia.
Skies of Arcadia. Was it Sega? Yeah, it was Sega. Okay, yeah. I'm
Sega,
surprised
yeah.
Sega hasn't done another one. I mean,
I
even
mean,
looking at like the, I have the original Skies of Arcadia reviews, and like the Metacritic's a 93.
look at
Like,
Sega has so many franchises they're sitting on. Maybe now with Xbox, they're a little cozy up. They'll bring it because they're looking at Yakuza and seeing how
Coalition.
well that's done, and they're like, yes, let's bring it now. It's time.
Yeah, it'd be really cool to see them bring back a Skies of Arcadia game
Hell yeah.
for sure. Do
Killer
it.
7. Oh,
Yeah,
what a
Killer 7 was really cool.
great game.
Yeah, like these stylistic games like
Hmm.
this, like
Reminds me of
oh
13.
man, yeah, like um
These games will never get old. Killer is dead. All like, yeah,
yeah, I mean it's a Suda 51 game.
yeah.
Um
Can't go
it's
wrong
really
with
all that
these.
you need. Like Suda 51 has made a career of doing like these weird ass video games. Like like this, like No More Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Uh like that's his like, you know, that's his thing, man. Lollipop Chainsaw,
Lollipop
like that's
Chainsaw was so good.
yeah,
It's so
it's so
dumb, but
crazy. Yeah,
so
yeah,
good,
exactly. Like that's the thing. Like a lot of his stuff he does is dumb, but it's so stylish and like cool that
right?
it's like I don't even care.
Yep.
You know, like
I'm
I don't
definitely that
care that
person.
it's
I don't care.
dumb.
Let me have some fun.
He did. Did you ever play Shadows of the Damned? Because
Oh,
it was on it was on 360 and PS3. Um,
let me see what the game. Let me see what it is, cause I feel like I have. Damned trailer. Oh, this looks
yeah,
hella familiar.
it's
Hmm.
so good.
I
It's
don't
really stupid,
I
but
don't think I've
it's
played it, but I
great.
do know this.
I want to say I'm pretty sure it's an EA play, so it's on Game Pass
Ooh, okay.
because Shadows of the Damned was actually oddly enough brought out by EA. Um,
That
It
does not seem like a game for them.
plays a lot like Resident Evil 4 because of Mikami, who did Resident Evil 4, also did this with Suda51. So
Yeah. It looks so
it's
familiar, but yeah, I've never played this. I'm gonna have to save this for my back. Put this on my list. Damn. Okay.
yeah, you should go and play it. It's really good.
Okay.
Uh, but but then after that he did like Killer is Dead.
Yep.
Um, like heck yeah, man. Like
He just
I just
makes
think Suda
great
51
games.
does a lot of like he just does a lot of like fun games.
The games
Like
that
he's all about just having fun.
should be played or should be made, but people don't want to take that chance. But when they do well, they're like, "Oh, that was great," but I'm still not taking that chance. Okay, I guess.
Well,
Damn.
I think the thing is like his games don't sell like millions of bajillions of copies.
Yeah.
So, like big developer like big publishers aren't going to be like, well, let's take a chance with Suda 51. It's like a lot of them are like, no, we took that chance once and we're good. Thanks. Um,
But you could go
but
down in infamy.
I am really glad that he still somehow gets his games made because they're just dumb fun. And Killer 7 was that. Like it's
Mm-hmm.
literally you're playing as seven different I think it's seven different personalities, but each one is like a different assassin.
Yep.
And it's really cool.
Yeah, a game where seven serial killers which are all different personalities in the mind of one man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
okay.
you can't go wrong with this game.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. That's
It's
that's some prime video game right there.
yes. I mean, you can blast your way through another Call of Duty, but you're not gonna remember the story. You play a Suda game, you're gonna remember the story. I can guarantee
Oh
you
yeah.
that. Resident Evil. So they just have a giant Resident Evil whole ad, but Resident Evil 4, the prime diggity
Oh
daddy.
jeez.
When we talked about Resident Evil 2 weeks ago, it's the
Hmm.
big bad boy.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked a ton about Resident Evil. I mean, I don't think we really need to go through
Yeah.
all of that again, but Resident Evil found its home this generation very much on the GameCube.
Mhm.
Zero and Zero was an exclusive. They did the remake of the first one, which was also an exclusive,
Mhm.
and they did a re-release of 2 and 3, which were really just ports and they didn't change at all. But uh, they were very rare and are probably worth some money because they didn't see a wide release at this point. And 4 was an exclusive for a while. So GameCube was definitely like the Resident Evil system for this era.
Cuz it was the
So
sexy boy.
they
Okay.
they loved their cube.
There's nothing
Um,
wrong with the cube. Twin
no,
snakes.
Twin Snakes makes sense. Another Silicon Knights game that is on this list
Of course. I don't know why Batman, Titanfall and Drake are in the background, but hey.
because they're all the same character. It's
Yeah. Totally. Metroid Prime Echoes. Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
that makes sense.
Ikaruga
Ikaruga.
or Ikaruga. It also has a Switch release recently.
Yeah, and
Or
I know I'm pretty sure they
recent.
re-released it on Xbox 360 maybe, and it's backwards compatible if
Yeah,
I remember right.
I think
Um,
so. I was
but
watching a
yeah,
video.
Ikaruga is an extremely hard shmup, shoot 'em up.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much an old school, like Japanese arcade shoot 'em up.
Ruin your
Uh,
whole day when you play it.
yeah, it's all about fast reflexes, being able to dodge all them bullets. It's very old school. Like so, if you're into that kind of game, it's definitely one of the best. I'm pretty terrible at it, uh, but I like I like those games, those types of games.
Because they're so good. They're just from a different time.
Yeah,
You gotta
hundred
admire them.
percent.
Pikmin.
Pikmin.
Look at his little booty. Beautiful Joe, another game that
Here
has
you go.
destroyed my whole life. It's so hard. I forgot how hard it was. But it's so beautiful because it's on that weird. It very much subscribes to a 2D
Yeah,
plane, left, right, but it is a 3D game all the way, but with comic book styling.
yeah. So
Mm.
it had that cell shading. It had the cell shading that was made famous in like Wind Waker and 13. But Beautiful Joe, it was like a comic book brought to life.
Yes.
It was just like the concept was really cool. The only part about Beautiful Joe, like I mean, it looks so freaking good.
It
Like
aged so
even
well.
today, like yeah, because that graphic style just still works. In 2021, that graphic style still looks gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I mean, I would say the the only bad part about Beautiful Joe is, like you said before, it's hard as hell.
It's so
Uh,
hard. I'm probably gonna play through it honestly with cheats on because
yeah,
I don't have a whole month to learn how to play this game.
yeah. I was gonna say, like, unfortunately, that is kind of the way to go. Um, but yeah, I love the look of Beautiful Joe. Like I always have.
Yeah.
Uh,
I remember
it is very much a comic book come to life.
it really is. Like look at that. Look at that. That's he's in Castle Dimitrescu right now kicking ass and doing all the good things. It's so good. It's so beautiful. But yeah, I this is one of those games. It's like a Life of or Maximo Army of Zin or whatever. I can't remember because there's like 2 3 games that came out at that time.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah,
They're really good, but they're just hard as
yeah.
nails. And I can't recommend people to play them. Like I want to because you know me, I like to preserve that retro mentality, but they're just too hard for the not for the modern day
Hmm.
gamer, but just like you ain't got a month to learn how this specific one character moves and then get to the boss and relearn how the boss moves. You don't got that kind of time.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough.
But it's beautiful. Thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, look at his little abs and his little legs and his little toes. It's so adorable. I want it. Pay 1,000 Year Door. I mean, I I think 1,000 Year Door is probably the best Paper Mario game because
Yeah,
even
it's
the recent one people didn't really have 1,000% love on.
yeah, the Thousand Year Door is definitely the best one. I said like, do you like role playing games? Do you like Mario? Do you like when Mario is a role playing game?
Hmm.
Because I do.
And do you
That's
like
what
that
Paper
weird
Mario is.
splash of Japanese in there? There you go.
Yeah, like you know, it's essentially like the Paper Mario games are essentially the sequels to Super Mario RPG.
Hmm.
They're just done in a paper style,
Hmm.
um, so to speak, as far as graphics go. But like I like the games a lot. They're very much turn based Final Fantasy style RPGs, except they have the timing element when you're doing the attacks and defending attacks. So you want to time your button presses to either avoid damage or do extra damage
Hmm.
when doing your moves, stuff like that. But yeah, Paper Mario Thousand Year Door was definitely the top tier of
And it
those games.
still holds up. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
still holds up.
Oh yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
so
that was
cute.
definitely the best.
Fire. Okay, here's another one. I've never played a Fire Emblem game simply for the fact I don't like games with permadeath in them. I hate
Mm.
permadeath.
Mm.
I know. I
Well,
I've gotten
as
around
someone
that
that's working at a
lately.
studio
Yes.
that is making a game that is a turn-based strategy game with permadeath,
Yes.
I can't help but
Like I've
uh
got around it in the
you on
last
this.
few years. I've really been like, okay, if it happens, it happens. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
But When I
Um,
was a kid, this would have pissed me off to no extent. Like, I don't want my characters to die. What did I do wrong? Now I can understand. Okay, I did wrong. I should have set this up better. Okay.
yeah, yeah. But Path of Radiance it's kind of like one of those things where it's like, where did all these Fire Emblem characters come from? It
There you
was
go.
probably Path of Radiance.
Right?
Ike is from Path of Radiance. A lot of the popular Fire Emblem characters have come from Path of Radiance. So it's
Yeah.
if you've played Smash Brothers and played as you know some of those characters,
Here
they
you go.
probably came from Path of Radiance.
Yep.
So whether it be Marth or Ike or Roy, I don't know if Roy was Path of Radiance. I can't remember. It's been a long time since I played,
It's been
but
so long.
like it's very good. Path of Radiance was really good. It got a direct sequel on the Wii
Ooh.
that was very good. And then I mean every mobile edition has been, not mobile but handheld, I should say, has been very good. Along with Three Houses, which is a killer game. I love Fire Emblem, so
Nerd.
which is part of the reason I work at a studio that is making a game that is like Fire Emblem. So,
And if you're watching this from the beginning, you might have noticed a little something in our intro, so
yeah,
there you go.
yeah, you're gonna have to go back and check that out. But yeah, you can go to externusgame.com to pre-order that sucker right now.
Mm-hmm. Soul Calibur. Have I played a Soul Calibur game? I'm pretty sure I have. They just
Soul
fighting
Calibur
games blend
2,
into one another.
This is the best version of Soul Calibur 2.
Oh.
And it also had the best guest character in Link.
Not Darth Vader?
Because, well, Darth Vader wasn't. So that was on the PS3 360 version. And that was Soul Calibur 4, I think.
Probably.
That had Darth Vader and Yoda, depending on which version that you got.
Jesus.
But yeah, so for Soul Calibur 2, PS2 had Heihachi from Tekken. Xbox had Spawn from Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
And then GameCube had Link. And Link was the best of those characters.
Of course he was.
Having owned Soul Calibur on both the GameCube and the Xbox, Link was definitely better. But I mean, they had, like, Link had everything that he had in a Zelda game. He had his bombs, he had the bow and arrow, like
An
he was definitely
unfair
made.
advantage.
No, because Soul Calibur is a weapon fighter, so it is very much about the weapons. As every character has a weapon.
Jesus.
So yeah, it's but Soul Calibur 2, very much probably the best Soul Calibur, along with it being the GameCube version being the best version of Soul Calibur 2. So yeah,
Damn.
that's Soul Calibur 2. So if you like fighting games at all, like it's really fun. Do it.
I like Double Dash. We talked about Squadron 2 Rogue Leader. I do have a retrospective on this. This is so I started playing Squadrons, the new game, on a stream, and there's something about this game where you can sit outside the ship. In the new one, I haven't found a way to sit outside ship, and I'm just like, I don't like the new one. It just makes I'm very motion sick. I get very motion sick very easily, and it's like, once I can sit outside the ship, it's not as bad, but damn, it won't let me sit outside the ship. And I'm like, I'm gonna throw up in about 5 seconds here. That's why I don't stream it anymore.
You in the wrong way.
Oh, yeah. It's just, yeah. It's the new graphics. It'll be better. No, it's not.
No, it
Yeah,
just
no,
makes it
it's not.
realistic. So I feel,
I feel even worse now.
yeah,
But yeah, Rogue Squad on the GameCube, banging game, banging series. Squadrons I wouldn't recommend, but these games, yeah. And people are like, play Squadrons in VR. It's like, do you want me to die? Cause I'm not aiming for that.
yeah. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, a lot. Sometimes those games just aren't for everybody.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, so
Like I definitely want to play it to completion because I want to finish games, but yeah, I don't know about that one.
yeah,
Pikmin. Seriously, go watch a speed run of these games. It's ridiculous.
yeah. It's
Look at that branding, big old Duracell battery in there.
Duracell in everything.
Japanese games like this that are very like these are weird have so much Final Fantasy has so much branding, the cup of noodles, all that stuff in there. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
damn, okay. Super
Yeah,
Mario
but you know what? It's
Sunshine.
not just it's not just that. Like Alan Wake had like Energizer batteries in it, so
That yeah,
I mean
that's
it's
true.
like
That's
you know
true.
it's just games. Super
Yeah,
Mario Sunshine.
a
Most people
banger.
didn't like. Most people don't like Mario Sunshine. Um,
Why?
I don't think people liked the water mechanic. Um,
But they'll play Odyssey. Okay.
I mean I like yeah like I didn't think Sunshine was bad. Like I liked Sunshine. Um,
It's
to
adorable.
to to each their own.
Yeah,
I would say.
exactly.
Yeah.
You have your cup of tea and you drink it. Animal Crossing, the quintessential staple of the GameCube,
This is
which
the OG.
if you still have your GameCube and you still have Animal Crossing, if you log on today, they'll be like, "Hey, boy, you haven't logged on for 15 years. Where have you been?" It'll
Man, I
make you
wonder if
feel
I have a
guilty.
memory card somewhere that has a game of Animal Crossing, and I probably do.
It probably does,
Uh,
and it'll be like, "Hey, what's up, Trevor? Where have you been? We've been waiting for you to,
so
shake these trees."
Animal Crossing is one of those games that, because I know, because during the summers that my group of friends, we would all just, we're at the point where this is like post high school. We're kind of just figuring our lives out. We would all go hang out at Kent's house during the summers because legitimately Kent is a former carny because his parents do run part of a carnival. Um, so during the summers they wouldn't be home because they're doing the carnival.
Yep.
So we would literally like Kent's house was the house to go to. Like even it didn't matter if Kent was there or not. We went to Kent's house. Um, so I just remember like there would be times where like I would just go into Kent's house and our friend Ashley would just be like sitting in Kent's room playing Animal Crossing, just like waiting for other people to come to Kent's house.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, I mean there were definitely days where I would just go over to Kent's and he had his Xbox set up in his library and he had pretty much all of the Xbox games, so I would sit there and just play something, waiting for somebody else to come to Kent's house. Because someone always would. Because
Jesus.
that's just what we did.
That's how it
For
be.
yeah, that's just that was us at that period at that time period. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And Animal Crossing was just one of those games where we were all like kind of addicted to it for a little bit. Um,
You're not gonna talk about the turnip market. If I have to hear about the turnip market one more
Look,
time
that
from these
wasn't a
people,
thing. That wasn't a thing back then. Like you had your own town, and that was like,
that was it.
you could send gifts and stuff, but like it wasn't like it is now. Like it doesn't have like the multiplayer thing that goes on now. This was like it was literally just the collect different fruits and like collect the fossils and collect the bugs and all of that stuff. Like it was just all about fishing and collecting and all that. It's
Hmm.
It's very different now, but yeah, it was definitely cool, uh, and
I,
definitely a weird addicting thing.
I will recommend if you are somebody that likes Animal Crossing, but like me, does not have a Switch because Canada hates everybody. Um, a good alternative is the Harvest Moon series. They are constantly ongoing. They've been going, I mean, Super Nintendo. Or Stardew Valley is another one. And Stardew Valley is always updating. I've fallen into a pit with Stardew Valley. I had to step away, like physically step away for a bit. Stardew Valley is so good. It's got that collecting, it's got that storyline. It's so god dang good. I can't stop playing it. And that's the same
Yeah,
with Animal Crossing.
so the my aforementioned friend Ashley, she also was a big Stardew Valley addict at one point because I know
So
because she
good.
works for AT&T in an AT&T store. At least she used to work in a store. She doesn't anymore. She does the actual customer service over the phone part now. But when she was working in a store, I know she would literally log a ton of hours while working because they would have a ton of downtime. So, uh,
Stardew is
yeah,
so good.
she was addicted for a long time. Yeah.
Like, I'm not a super fan of kind of games like that, but once I get on that cycle, it's like Sims.
Hmm.
I will play Sims for like 2 months straight, and that's all I'm playing, and then I don't touch it for another like 3 years. I can't
Yeah.
help myself.
Yeah, I'll play Sims Hard for like a week and then I'm like done for like 10 years.
Exactly. I mean, nothing has changed in those 10 years. Twilight Prince. Okay, so you guys know the only uh, Zelda I've played has been Link to the Past, so I know there's a lot of controversy with
Man.
these games.
So, Twilight Princess was the game that people thought they were going to get when Wind Waker came out. Essentially,
Oh,
is what
but Wind Waker is good. Well, now it's good.
the hubbub. It yes, Wind Waker is great.
Yeah,
It's just
our
people had
balance.
different expectations.
Okay.
I think what they expected was basically an upgraded version of Ocarina of Time, at least graphically.
Oh.
That's what they were expecting. And granted, this is Nintendo's fault because when they initially showed a demo, they showed essentially an upgraded Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
They did not have the cell shading graphics that Wind Waker had. So when the cell shading graphics were officially introduced into it, everybody's like, "Oh my god, this looks like a kids game." Blah 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 blah. The internet.
Of course. Yep.
That's it's the same now as it ever has been, where people complain about the dumbest stuff.
Yeah.
But when you actually sat down and played Wind Waker and realized how damn good that game looks, like, because it looks so damn good even to this day, you couldn't help yourself.
Right?
Like Wind Waker, man, it still holds up. Like graphically, the shading, like everything just looks good. Watch this bomb explode.
Pachoom! Look
Like
at that
it
cloud.
looks great. Like that bomb exploding cloud looks freaking fantastic. Like the first time like I played through this game, I was like, oh my god, this like every like little detail in that's like hand drawn just looks so good.
Mm-hmm.
And for people to just like hate on this game endlessly for it, quote unquote, looking like a cartoon kids game, like those people are wrong
Yep.
because this game looks amazing and it probably holds up better than any other Zelda game because of the way it looks.
I mean, I'm
So,
that whole, oh, it looks like a kid's game. I don't want to play it. That my mentality to me is so short-sighted because I've been
mhm,
playing Spiritfarer. Spiritfarer, if you've played like Indivisible or Battle Chef Brigade, it's very much like an anime looking style game, which a
mhm.
lot of people may not like. It's cartoony, but the story it tells is better than some of the like AAA games I've been playing lately.
And and I think too, it was also kind of emblematic of that time period.
Yeah.
I think it would be more accepted now. I mean, it is more accepted now because more people have gone back and been like, yeah, Wind Waker's great.
Yeah.
Um, like in the whole like history comes back
Right.
to bite people. It's literally like Wind Waker is seen as one of the best Zelda games ever. So it just goes to show that like you know, history wins out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was definitely a sign of the times. It was like it's very much an early like a late '90s, early 2000s like toxic masculinity, like
Yes. There you
like
go.
teenage opinion. If that makes a difference, because like even me when I was a teenager, like I like hit a certain point where um I like didn't want to watch like any cartoons or Disney stuff or like that,
Yeah.
because it was just like what's like, am I gonna get made fun of for this or that,
Yeah.
that sort of thing, and it's all just like it's all just based in that toxic masculinity of like I gotta be a
Prove
man and
something.
and
Yeah.
and be cool and really it's like, but nowadays like I think what we're starting to see now is that people are realizing that like, hey, just like what you like,
Yeah.
which and I think that's awesome. That's definitely for the best. Um,
I'm so down with that. Just like what you like, play what you play. I mean, last week you talked about ongoing games. I play Anthem still, and there's people that play Fallout, and I just hopped into Final Fantasy online. It's like play what you want to play, enjoy what you want to enjoy,
mhm.
because at the end of the day, you don't pay other people's bills, and sometimes people need to take their minds off of things, so they're gonna play what they want to play. Stop being a hater.
Yeah, and even like, and a few years later, we got Twilight Princess, which was the game that we were initially talking about. I mean, it still
Oh
looks
my
really good,
god,
because
that
this
thing
is
has
the
titties.
HD. Like,
That
well,
those right there,
not all of it looks good, but yeah.
those are titties with nipples. And there's titties going all the way up the neck, but those right there, those are some titties. And I know anybody who's watching this now or later immediately snap their head to the screen like, she said titties. What are they talking about? Those are
Yeah,
titties with blue nipples. Look at that thing with its weird ass, bald ass human head, with its weird ass nose and lips, titties all down the neck, but two big ass titties here with its weird ass chicken body and chicken legs. Those are titties. I love how like, like that's the point I had to click on. Oh, the more you look at
but
it, the more I gotta click away from that. That's just awkward to look at.
but yeah, otherwise, uh, Twilight Princess looks great.
Yeah, because this is
And
the
it's
HD
definitely like,
version.
yeah. Yeah, exactly. And this is very much the Zelda game that people thought they were going to get with Wind Waker.
I
So
I can see why people
that's
were
that's where.
disappointed with Wind Waker, but man, I like the way Wind Waker looks. Like this is okay, but I
Mm,
like the way Wind
yeah,
Waker looks. Oh, good God, Wind Waker looks a lot more than what this looks like. This is not bad, but it's just it's very
it's
dated.
very classic. Like
Yes.
it's more of like an old school Zelda.
Yeah.
It's very much like, hey, remember Ocarina of Time? Probably your favorite Zelda game. We made it prettier.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, we we updated it for modern systems.
And
Is
now
essentially
he turns
what they
into
did.
a wolf
Yeah,
and has a weird little
basically yes.
voice in his head. Yeah. Resident Evil 4, of course, with Leon looking so handsome. And oh, I did look it up. Leon Kennedy's voice actor is the merchant in Resident Evil 4.
Okay.
I'm like, wow, that's a whole switch because the merchant sounds so different from Leon.
Yeah, yeah. The merchants are very much like, what are you buying?
And if you're playing Resident Evil Village, there is some if you I can't remember what you're selling to him, but there's sometimes where you'll sell something to him to go, "What are you buying?" Sorry, that's just something a friend of mine used to say, and I'm like, Y'all, you need to stop. I mean, the story of the game is kind of like whatever, but that is
Yeah,
adorable. Melee, Wind Waker, number 2
there's
Wind
Wind Waker.
Waker.
Yeah, yeah, I knew it would be up there.
I would
Um,
be disappointed if it wasn't up here, to be honest.
yeah, definitely.
I mean, everything in hindsight, like I said, you were telling us that people didn't like it, but man, it looks so much better than Twilight Princess.
Yeah, and again, like it's the context of the time.
Yeah.
Um, but I think it definitely got a better shelf life.
Yes.
Because of the way it looks.
And then Metroid Prime.
Prime.
Samus looking. So let's go through the next list, which is the 50 best of all time. If we have any that, we're probably gonna do like I know I have a couple lists list up, but maybe one more list, because then we're gonna start overlapping.
Yeah, it'll
And
just all be repeats. Yeah.
yeah, that's the only downside when we cover consoles is, especially consoles that I wasn't really around for. So I gotta go with list. So if you want to see us cover
Yeah.
something extraordinary next week, go to Level 1 Gaming, go click on Level 1 Originals, click on the Cogs, whatever episode it is, slide up into those questions or comments, leave a comment, hit us up on Twitter. Our names are under our heads, and we say them at the beginning and end of the show. And leave us some suggestions what to cover, because we do read them. And if you want to leave some comments in this video below, we will also read them. And on where podcasts are available, we will read your comments, and we will take them into consideration. So you guys, make sure you leave them, make sure you interact in, and we love you guys. All right. Four Swords Adventure. I feel like I know this one.
So Four Swords Adventures was essentially Link to the Past, except you could connect your Game Boy Advance up to it.
Oh.
And play with 4 players.
That sounds awful and great at the same time.
But you all had to have basically the Link cable and a Game Boy Advance for each person. It was very expensive to actually do it. But it was a very cool concept in that aspect. As you can see, it's interesting.
I think this might be because they're recording it in 2020, or this video came out in 2020. I think this might be somebody that's emulating it.
I also think they just maybe re-released it.
They did, and then they took it off. They re-released it for the anniversary, and then they took it off, and people have been asking for it back, and I don't know if it ever came back. Because
I didn't realize they took it up, so they pulled a Mario.
Yeah, they did. So I'm thinking, let me see in the description. This might be, so this is a long play of the NTSC version, which is North American version on the GameCube. So this might be a emulated version.
Yeah, that's my guess. Yeah,
which is okay. I play emulated games. And like I said, Trevor was telling you, this game was exceedingly expensive to play, and it was
expensive when it first came out. Yeah, at this point, try to find the game disc, and then try to get 4 Game Boy Advances and 4 of the cables would be like crazy expensive. So
emulate it, because emulation has a lot of tricks around this kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's probably really the only way to properly do it anymore. But it was an interesting concept. Like, it was this and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
Crystal Chronicles was good.
Mega Man Anniversary Collection. It was their first time re-releasing Mega Man as a collection. It's literally just Mega Man's 1 through 6, I believe. Which, if you like Mega Man, it's good.
Yeah. Mega Man, those games destroy your soul. If you ever want to watch and I'm gonna say this over and over again for these older games. Watch speedruns of these games. Like, and not to make you feel bad, but just be like, watch the speedrunners that make it look easy also fail.
Yeah.
Because, oof, these games aren't easy.
Yeah,
Mega Man.
I owned this copy of Mega Man. I had the anniversary collection, so
Tell me you still have it.
I do. Yeah,
Yes.
I do actually.
We're gonna go through Trevor's collection one day. We're gonna give him ample notice though, because I feel like you might have to pull some things out of storage.
I don't. I don't even know. Like, I have boxes here in my office that are in the closet, but I don't know what boxes are there and what boxes are downstairs. To be
Jesus.
completely honest.
Game
Ikaruga? We talked about that earlier. The
Destroy Your
shmup.
Whole Soul. Chibi Rope.
Chibi
Man.
Robo. Yeah.
If you guys.
Chibi
Okay.
Robo was a platform adventure game. Yeah.
I feel like this one was another one that was like, oh, I'm too manly to play this game, so why would I play it? It's
Yeah.
adorable. Except for I don't want to see the gibberish. I mean, look at that. It's a straight up platformer. You drag your little plug behind you. And you have a little your little battery charge, and you got to charge yourself. Tell me that shit ain't cute. Look at him. This. Seriously, yeah, Chibi Robot. I like it because it's so cute and adorable. And you carry your little plug on your head, and we'll never see another one of these again.
Yeah. No.
Mario.
Oh, I forgot about Mario Smash Football.
Ball.
Oh, okay. It's Mario Soccer. It's Mario Super Strikers. It's just the European version. It's called Smash Football. I did not realize it was called Smash Football in Europe. So.
Well, I mean, soccer isn't soccer to them.
Yeah, no, I mean, it totally makes sense. I just didn't realize that. So.
Right? That's why when we were talking about Resident Evil, it's like, is Resident Evil 3 and Resident Evil 3 Nemesis the same thing? I'm like,
they are.
That's magic to me. Beautiful Joe 2. There is a second one, guys. It's still as good.
Still as hard.
Exactly. WarioWare.
Heck yeah.
Oh, what is this?
Yes. Okay. Batten Kaitos. Okay. So, there were 2 Batten Kaitos games that came out on the GameCube. The original Batten Kaitos, and then Batten Kaitos Original Origins, which was a prequel that came out later. There are RPGs that have a card-based combat system. They're really good.
That sounds weird.
It was very different for the time period. But yeah, I have fond memories of playing this game. It's turn-based, like as you can see there, like you're actually like using cards to do the attacks. I can't remember exactly how it works, like I'd have to play it again, but yeah, it's, and you'll have like a party and stuff like that. Obviously it's just the main character at this point in the story, but yeah, like it looked really good for the time. It was a lot of fun to play. Like I remember the story being pretty good for a Japanese RPG at the time.
I'm writing this
down. Yeah, Batten Kaitos is very much one that I don't think it ever got like super popular. But I mean, the first one did well enough for them to do like an origin prequel, so it must have done well enough.
It looks good. It looks like very Final Fantasy, and I'm interested.
I mean, from a graphics standpoint, it's pretty on par with Final Fantasy X. I would say. The
combat looks so interesting. It's so. I don't know if I've ever played anything in it that's an RPG, because I'm like, I can think of a couple Yu-Gi-Oh games that I'm like, oh yeah, I played something like that. But this looks so weird. Oh, I gotta play this at one point.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
So,
cool.
Batten Kaitos Origins.
I would recommend just playing the Baten Kaitos Eternal Wings in Last Ocean, which is the original. Um, and this was Monolith Soft who do whatchamacallit, the RPGs now, the shit.
You
Uh
got this.
they're Nintendo RPGs. Uh Crap.
Monolith Soft. We're gonna help Trevor out because we're not gonna let him. Xenoblade?
Yes, the Xenoblade Chronicles
It's like we
games.
can't let you. Like I can hear your brain thinking from over here.
Yeah, like I'm just like, why can't I think of these?
Also,
Why is it not working?
never played a Xenoblade game because I just know I don't have the time to invest into a game like that.
So yeah, they're very much time investments, which is why I haven't played them either.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, they
they're
do good
good.
stuff. Like that's why because of Bat and Kaitos, that's kind of why I would like to play the Xenoblade Chronicles games.
Mm-hmm.
I just know the time sink
Yeah.
that they are.
Oh my
So
god. I don't think we're ready for how much time. Because let me go on to one of my favorite sites. It's how long to beat, and it gives you all the kinds of times of how long the games
yeah,
would be. So, Blade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So, if a completionist run is 128 hours.
yeah.
Chronicles 2, a completionist run is 258. I don't even think I have that much time in Red Dead Redemption 2, and that's all I played for like 6 months.
So in comparison, Bat and Kaitos, Eternal Wings and Lost Ocean completionist run is 132 hours.
Oh my
So,
god.
but the main story is 54 hours. If that,
That's still so. I mean, I say
yeah,
that. I'm also like 75 hours into Dragon Quest Builders
I
2,
was
so
gonna
I
say, yeah,
need to shut the hell up.
yeah. I think you see that. I think we have the same thought process when we see the time.
Yeah,
When we see the time laid out like that, it's like, oh man,
that's a
don't
lot,
have time for that. But then,
right?
like when you're in it, when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the sticky ickiness
Yep.
of playing those games, you don't even think about it. And then you're just like 100 hours in, and you're like, oh, all right, well, I guess that's how that went.
There's a
Uh,
game, Forsaken World. It's a free to play game. I started playing it on Steam. I think it was one of the first games I had before I got my computer that I played, and it was recently like, oh, I haven't played in a while, but I checked it out. It's like, you have like 700 hours on this free to play, kind of like weird ass, WoW inspired game. I was like, oh, oh my god. Okay.
right?
700 hours of my life, I need to get that back. And I bet you 90% of that was me falling asleep while the game was on. Like, damn, I still spent that much time? Okay. I will have to sit down
Yeah,
and
it's
play
crazy.
this. And Xenoblade. I'll have to sit down and play Xenoblade. Because the more I talk about, that's a lot of time. Because I know I'm not going to go for
Yeah,
a completionist run. Those, I don't know all the secrets.
yeah, all that stuff's crazy. Like, yeah,
Yeah, people, man, the people that find all this, it's like the people that are finding the secrets still to this day of Red Dead 1. It's like, you guys are
hmm
insane. Let it go.
yep,
Hit and run, Simpsons, man. Classic. It's an awful game because it's hard as hell, but hit and run is so good. If you love Simpsons and you love like that weird arcade time, you're gonna love this. But it's hard. It's very hard. I think I've played this on only on the PlayStation 2 though.
yeah. So I mean, do you like Grand Theft Auto? Do you like The Simpsons? That is what Simpsons Hit and Run is.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it just being really fun to play
It's so
for
fun.
sure. And
So hard.
so I wanted to give a little context also to our hours discussion. So I went on my Xbox profile and I'm looking at how many hours I played The Elder Scrolls Online, Tamriel Unlimited.
Oh no.
Uh, so my game time, hours played, 1,132.
I'm okay. I have it on Bethesda Net, so I'm kind of glad it doesn't show up.
Um, which is, it tells me in actual like days,
Oh
it
my
is
god, no.
82 days, 9 hours, and 10 minutes. So I've played 82 full days
Trevor.
of The Elder Scrolls Online, and that is just on Xbox. I have also played it a bunch on PC.
I was about to
So,
say, oh my god. I honestly don't know what my most played game, at least on Steam, is because I use Play Night now, because Play Night will track
mhm.
my hours on everything. But the game I was playing yesterday, Grand Theft Auto 5, I have 225 hours in there. So I'm like, I've played that much Grand Theft Auto 5. Kill me. I hate
so
that game.
I will also say for context, I did play a lot of Elder Scrolls Online during a period of time when I did not have a job. So,
There you go. You had the
like,
time.
yeah, there's definitely a time. Especially when I was going to get my degree and it was summertime and I was not taking classes. And
Exactly. You have nothing but
yeah,
time at
so
that point.
yeah. The Sonic
Sonic.
Mega Collection. I also had this collection.
Do you realize this
Uh,
is the first Sonic game that's popped up?
yeah. It, and
Which
it
I'm
doesn't
surprised.
surprise me that it's the Mega Collection that just includes all of like the Genesis Sonic games. um, and I'm
Sonic is
pretty sure
rough.
it has. I think it also has like Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine in it,
That
which
sounds weirdly sexual.
it's it's literally it's a Puyo Pop game,
Oh,
just skinned with Sonic characters,
of course it is.
essentially, and it's awesome.
Oh,
So,
I mean,
uh,
Boy Pop, you can't go wrong with that. It's
hey, if you got a
good,
fever,
right?
you gotta get your Puyo Pop on.
I've been shameless gaming secret. I've been playing Microsoft Solitaire like on and off for the past month, and it's not as good as the original, Solitaire that used to come on your computer. But I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't know why I can't stop playing it. Like when I have some
So,
like 15 minutes of downtime, I'm like, here we go.
so legit. At least I have actually a couple years. I had a subscription to Microsoft Solitaire. So,
I'm not gonna fault you because that game is addictive,
I mean, it was like it's something stupid like $10 a year or something.
right?
So, like I would get the sub so I could get the extra coins and like I literally have almost, if not all of the achievements. I'm pretty close to having all of the damn achievements in that game. So,
It's
uh,
so dumb and it's so not the same, but damn, I can't stop playing it. I'm like 15
yeah, I
minutes.
mean
I got this,
it's very much like a good like I have a few minutes. Let's just do this real quick.
right?
Um,
Because
and
even
the
if I
fact that
want to
it has
play a
like
quick match of something, it's like, okay, it's gonna take me at least 15 minutes to find a match or something or
yeah.
load up.
So talk about ongoing games. Microsoft Solitaire.
You
There you
bitch.
go. Like,
You ain't never lied.
because you got dailies and stuff like that.
The
Like,
weeklies, the
uh,
monthlies, all that. Yeah.
yeah. I'm gonna argue and say that this game should not be on this list.
Was it was this a I guess technically, yeah, I guess it was a
It
PC.
was really just a port, but
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. But
This
hey,
oops.
to each, and I guess the Sonic collection and the Mega Man collection are also just ports as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
They did put them together in a cool collection with like bonus extras and stuff. But
But
yeah,
yeah, that's its own thing.
essentially
This
they're
is
just
just a
ports.
straight port though. This
Yeah,
was taking
it's
the game.
literally yeah. So
Okay, Resi 2, which go back to our Resident Evil. It's now fully up. The full show is up. Uh there is some discount codes in there for you guys. So go play the Resident Evil and just listen to the whole time we talk about Resident Evil. We get Trevor knows some knowledge. We get into deep. We get into it deep. That's what she said. uh, uh, golf. Yeah.
Where
What
golf?
was?
We talked about it.
There was a game. It's a golf game, but you your golf ball is a frog, so you have to hit the pressure plate, and then the frog jumps off. Oh my god.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that
Oh,
one.
I'm gonna open
I
up
thought
my launch
I
box
thought you were
while
gonna
we
talk
talk.
about like the golf RPG, like because
No,
there's like Golf Story, which is
because it
which
was
is a good
on.
golf game on, which is
Yeah,
like it's on Switch, which is it's a golf RPG.
Golf
Uh,
Story is underrated as hell, man.
yeah, Golf Story is pretty good. And I know the Game Boy Advance version of Mario Tennis also had an RPG on it as well.
I'm gonna
Uh,
find this because this is gonna annoy me. Ugh. What is it? Ribbit King. Oh my god.
oh, okay.
So I don't know why this came to my mind. Okay, I'm just hitting all these buttons and my computer don't want to do it. Ribbit King. It's I think yeah, actually the first place I probably watched this was Game Grumps. But you hit a pressure pad and your golf ball is a frog and you can catch like you can hit like the webs in front of you to bounce higher. You can catch flies to be more stuff and all that. But I'm like, this one is so dumb, but it's stuck in my mind so much. It's so dumb. It's not even a good golf game. Because, I mean, you're not golfing.
Yeah.
And then you gotta you gotta hit the diamonds. You can go loop back around. You can hit the bubbles. And I'm like, this is so dumb, but I love it. I don't know. Look at that stupid bubble with his stupid face. And then you just boop, pew. I hate it, but I love it so much. I don't know why that one. Every time I think of this one, because it was brewing in the back of my head when we were talking about it earlier, and I'm like, I can't remember the name of this goddamn game.
Yeah.
Beautiful Joe. Batten
The
Kaitos.
OG.
The OG.
The
Look at
OG
this
Batten
one.
Kaitos.
Do you
Heck yeah.
remember the other Zelda ripoff? Oh god. Uh, Dart. It came on the PlayStation 2. There was two of them.
Dark Cloud?
Dark Cloud. Oh my god, yes. Those were
Yeah.
Zelda ripoffs. I'm gonna do a retrospective on those. Symphonia. I mean, the Tale series.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Tale series is quite interesting games. Vesperia is on Game Pass right now, and they have.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they've re-released Symphonia.
I think
I want to say.
so.
I think they did.
Yeah. But Tale
So that
series
one should
is
be able to be gotten.
so good. They're so like, and I will say, if I can't remember who we were talking about. I think it was Demigod Reviews. He was talking about I'm intimidated to get into the Symphonia or the Tale series because there's just so many of them. Don't worry about that. Just play whatever one you feel because they're
Yeah, I
like
think
Final Fantasy. They all relate, but you don't need to play one to play the other.
Right, yeah, they're all like kind of standalone in that sense, yeah.
Which is nice because I mean, Tales.
But I've always heard Symphonia was one of the better ones for sure.
Yes.
Maybe the best one.
Tales of Tale series. So there is one. It's Tales of Phansa. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 comes out in 2021. 17 games, and that's not including sequels and spin-offs and all that. So it's intimidating, but just go for it. Vesperia on Game Pass right now. Symphonia re-released, and I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be another Tales announcement at E3, whether it's a re-release or a new game. There's probably going to be it, or a mobile game, honestly.
Yeah.
Go play them. They're pretty good. They're like gaming history. Go play them.
Do it. All the cool kids are doing
They really are. Rogue Squad,
it. We're talking too.
Prince of
Prince Persia: Sands of Time.
the best Prince of Persia
Yeah,
game.
yeah, those games were really good.
They died so Assassin's Creed
Just
could live. And
um,
Prince of Persia kind of killed itself because once they released the movies and then the games after that, they're like, oh no, like
yeah,
Jake Gyllenhaal shouldn't have been Prince of Persia.
right. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sands of Time is really good. I'm glad they're giving more time for the remake.
That
Hopefully,
looked awful.
hopefully, yeah, hopefully that'll be better.
Yes.
And people can then replay the glory that is the Sands of Time, because the Sands of Time is very good.
Still holds
The
up too.
trilogy, yeah, that whole trilogy from this era is all really good. And I remember I was again at Kent's house. I was literally sitting there watching Kent beat the third game of
Jesus.
the trilogy um, on his Xbox. So
And
I do remember that.
Kent, if you guys, well, you should know. If Trevor's here, you should know. Watch our sit down with Winterborn. Kent likes to play the games on the most extreme difficulty you can get. So think about that. Think about Doom running the nightmare. Think about Outlast, the hardest difficult, any hard difficulty you can find. That's what Kent likes to play, and that's why he has gray hair before his dad. Because he just doesn't know how to take it easy in life.
No,
Love,
he doesn't. He doesn't.
I love that
I
man, but he just cannot chill.
and anytime me and him have like a meeting for Winterborn, it's like I see his desk and it's just like all just a pile of empty energy drinks, and I'm just like,
Chill
oh
out, man.
man.
Chill out, Kent. Seriously, for your heart's sake, chill out. But Prince of Persia, I know Ubisoft has it. I wouldn't be surprised if Steam and GOG also. I mean, you can get it anywhere.
Oh
It's
yeah, yeah.
so good. It came out around the same time as another game I did a retrospective on that I also enjoyed was Sphinx, the Cursed Mummy, or what, I can't remember the
Yes.
full name, but
Yeah,
the
I think you got it actually.
oh, I did. Okay, those
Yeah.
games are so good. This time period is like the weird time period, but also the probably one of the best time periods. It's so good.
Hmm.
It holds up. Like, go play this because watching somebody play this isn't the same as playing it. You know, some games you can watch and get the kind of like
Hmm.
gist of it. Nah, you gotta play this. You really do. And it's like hella cheap now. It's always cheap.
Yeah, and it was the big introduction into the whole rewinding time mechanic.
Mm-hmm.
That a lot of games have adopted since.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Burnout, Point
oh
of
my
Impact.
God,
That is
Burnout
that a
2.
good? Is that a good? Oh my
Yes,
god.
Burnout 2 is so good. Like the Burnout games are probably my favorite racing games.
Yeah.
Um, just because they're fun. Like it wasn't about like because all the cars in these games are generic, like brand not brand name, like whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like it's all about like just driving fast, and then like it has the crash mode where literally it's just about like crashing into as much stuff and causing as much damage as possible when you crash into stuff, and basically the more damage you cause, the higher your score, and that is Burnout.
Yeah.
And that will forever be Burnout in my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like the dangerous driving games now are essentially like old Burnout team members trying to recreate these games, and I have a lot of fun with them.
Yeah.
So if you wanna play kind of like modern versions of these, just go check out like Dangerous Driving, and like they have one that's specifically crash mode. It's Dangerous something. I can't remember what it's called, but it's just it's fun. Like uh, these games are just pure
Fun dumb
fun.
times,
Like
man.
it's yeah. Like I just I have I know Burnout Revenge is like backwards compatible and I've played it.
Yeah.
in recent years on Xbox. So it's totally worth going back and doing. They're still they hold up because they're not like it's not like a game about a story or a game that relies on graphics. It's just you know go
Have
out there and
fun
wreck a
and
bunch of
crash.
rent. Yeah, exactly. Have fun, crash cars, uh, drive fast. I mean, it's good. It's good stuff.
Now, you might judge me on this. The only Burnout I played is Paradise City.
Um, Paradise is good, but it's not the same.
Oh, okay.
Um, it-
Don't die on me.
um, try not to, but yeah, it just doesn't have the same like. There's just something about it that just doesn't. It's
It it's very
they
brown from like
well
its
they
counterparts.
and they turned it into an open world. Like
Yeah.
it's very much like Burnout.
Boy, get you some
If I
water.
can stop coughing here.
Trevor's gonna drink some water. We're gonna let him drink his water because I don't need him choking and dying because then I'll have to go over there and whoop some ass. Nah, he's gonna drink his water. He gonna get his G Fuel water, shake it all up, drink it down, and be fit as a fill.
So Burnout 2 is about having a list of basically like events, and you just go through the list and and do them.
Okay.
Whereas Paradise was they turned it onto an open world,
Yeah.
and at every intersection was a different event
Yeah.
that you could play. And the crash mode was definitely different in that than it was like they called it like Showtime mode, and it was not quite the same. Like I think Paradise is a good game. It's just not the same as the old Burnout games. So,
Okay.
uh, two, three, and Revenge was when Burnout was pure and
Pure.
just
Yeah.
yeah,
Doing its
like
thing.
that was the stuff of legend.
Oh, man.
SSX.
I miss the SSX series. I mean, Steep has done a pretty good job, especially in Steep now because it really has changed from the original,
Mm.
but it is not the arcade like this anymore. Steep is a realistic, like, if you want to get some beautiful shots and beautiful footage, but you don't know how to snowboard, here you go. SSX was, God, those were such good games.
Yeah.
Tricky's the best in my opinion, but
Yeah,
it
like
is.
I never owned them. Like I would play them like here and there at like, friends or cousins or, you
Yeah,
know, other places. But I always had fun with them.
they're
Um,
so much fun.
yeah,
Like my
good stuff.
favorite PlayStation 2 game is Splashdown Rides Gone Wild, and I'll show you a little clip of it. It's it's a God, how do I explain it? A Sea-Doo racing game, but also a trick game with a little bit of story, but not really. It's very much of its era.
Hmm.
Uh, so these are the characters, Woo. This is also one of the only games I haven't been able to emulate because it just does not run well on. But this is the whole game. This is
Okay.
it. And I'm like, why do I
It's,
hold
yeah.
such a fondness for this? It's awful, but it's funny. I don't know, my brain, I think it hit me right at
And
that time in my childhood.
yeah, I think we all have like those games that just like they just hit at that
Hmm.
like right time,
And like
right place. Like
this shit where it would go, it switched to a whole new chorus halfway through, and I was like, I like this. Like the whole course would change. I'm like, I love this.
that's
But
that's almost kind of a similar mechanic. Like I don't know if you've played the Sonic and Sega All Star Racing Transformed
no, I have
because
not.
it kind of like so legit. It's really good. Um, but like they do have like it's called Transform for a reason, and it'll legit like change the track like a couple laps in and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and like it's I honestly like if you like Mario Kart at all, like the Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing Transformed, because it's out for PC and everything too, is
Hmm.
really good. I would highly recommend checking that game out.
Okay.
Uh, but yeah, it definitely, like, in that aspect, it reminds me of that, because in it also has, like, you basically, your car or whatever will transform into, like, a boat thing for water, or into, like, there are, like, flying parts too, kind of almost like Diddy Kong Racing back in the
That's
day.
cool.
But yeah, they did a really good job with that Sonic and Sega All Stars Racing. Like, I was very surprised. Um,
This also has a killer soundtrack. Copyright to hell, but like killer soundtrack. At the opening song is like put the pedal to the metal, and I can't remember, pedal to the metal by whoever sings it, and I'm just like, oh my god, I would love to play this on stream, but never with the music on.
but
But the
yeah,
music is like half the fun of it. It's like, ah, okay,
yeah,
damn.
I think
But
it's kind of like, I think that's kind of where Tony Hawk sits too.
yeah,
Is like
I want to
the
stream
music is
you,
a big part of those games. Yeah,
but I can't. SSX tricky. Oh man, I
makes
forgot
sense.
that's what that cover looks like. Damn,
Hmm.
badonk badonk. Can't help myself. Pro
I hope
skater
you
3.
kids like polygons.
Yeah, exactly. You think Laura has the look at the polygon count on those. And that's when the intro used to be EA Sports. It's in the game.
Yep,
Ugh,
I remember that one.
those good old days. Tell me a bad
Tony
Tony
Hawk's.
Hawk game.
Uh,
American Wasteland. Besides those.
Shoot, the one that Ride, Tony Hawk
Oh
Ride.
shit. Oh yeah. And the downhill game. Okay. Tell me a game after these, after Underground 2, that was bad.
I think you mean before Underground too.
Before Underground 2. There
Uh,
you go. 'Cause I
yeah, I
can't
can't.
think of one.
Uh, yeah, because I would say up until, like, up through, like, Thug 2, they were all real good.
Yeah.
Um, like, even a couple after that weren't, like, terrible, but they were just like, they just kind of, like, lost, I guess, the essence of those games in a sense. But,
Yeah.
like, I don't think American Wasteland was, like, bad per se. It just wasn't like,
Well, people were
they were just
expecting it
kind of
to
like
be
treading
another
water.
Underground. Because it
Yeah,
wasn't. It's like, oh.
no, no, because they were too busy trying to make this, oh, it's all one world, there's no load times, but really, like, you're just, like, grinding through this part of the world for, like, a minute while we load in the other part. So
Right.
it's no load time, quote unquote, but
Quote
really, yeah,
unquote.
there's loads.
If you ever want to feel bad about yourself, especially these Tony Hawk games, watch a speed run, because I was like, oh, I'm pretty good at. No, I'm not good at these games at all. I'm really not.
uh, After playing the remake of 1 and 2, I realized that, man, I lost all of my skill at any of these games, because I was like, I used to be at least pretty decent at these games, at least enough to, like, do, like, the base challenges in these levels,
Yeah.
and, like, now I'm just like, I can't do it anymore, and I'm just not skilled enough. I lost those skills along the way, unfortunately.
They're very acquired, and they're skills we've long since lost, because the only game I can think that has brought those skills out of me is Descenders. And I'm like, oh, but even then, it's not
Mhm.
all the way, because I still haven't played the
Yeah,
remakes.
yeah.
Mogul.
The thing like, the thing I remember most about Tony Hawk is I just remember that first game, and it had the Pizza Hut demo.
Oh,
At least here in,
yeah.
and I just remember playing that Pizza Hut demo. Like, I'm just sitting on the living room floor playing the demo on my PlayStation, and then just because of the soundtrack and stuff, like, I just remember my mom coming in and being like, "That sounds fun," and I was just like, "Yeah, it is fun,"
It
and then
is.
just playing it more, like, you
It
know.
really is, Mom. Would you like to
Um,
play? Do you know how to shred?
but yeah, it was good stuff.
Tony Hawk is
Uh,
always good. Mega
but
Man.
yes, the Mega Man X collection, which is exactly what you think it is.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Or
a
Mega Man
Mega Man X collection.
for all
I
those
never did.
kitties.
I never had that collection, and I still have yet to play the X games.
I'm surprised about that.
Yeah, I just never got past the OGs. Oh yeah, holy shit.
The Master
Um,
Quest.
yeah. So okay, yeah, I have this disc.
Not surprised.
Which has basically, at least in the U.S., like I don't know where this cover art is coming from because it's
Let's
definitely not the
see.
United States cover art. I feel like someone put together that cover art there because that does not. But
Does
it
not
was
look
like
official.
yeah, it was like a bonus disc for if you pre-ordered Wind Waker maybe. Um, I want to say, but it was basically a GameCube disc. Yeah, it's that first one right there is the cover art that I have. Yeah.
Wow.
So and it's just a single GameCube disc that had a version of the original Ocarina of Time, and then it had the Master Quest version, which was basically Ocarina of Time, where it changed some of the stuff up and made it a little bit harder. Uh,
Which is now standard in most Zelda games too.
yeah.
So
So,
I think that image that we just saw was this image, which was a poster of the Japanese stuff, but
yeah,
they just took the color out
yeah.
and then overlaid it. Because that's exactly what it looks like. That, yeah, you can see the white halo. It is not supposed to be
Mm,
there. Convincing,
yeah,
but
yeah. It is
since we're
for sure.
staring at it, we're looking like, nope.
Yeah, I was like, that's definitely not the box that I had. So,
And the fact that it doesn't have like an NTSC or a P or a PAL is like, okay.
mm,
Or it's not once it's not doesn't have the NTSC or PAL and it's not in Japanese or another language. I'm like, okay, it's fan made. Awesome.
yeah, it's sus.
It's sus. Fantasy Star Online episode 2 and 1.
Wanted to, yeah. I never had online for
Why did I say
the
2 and
GameCube.
1?
Uh, I don't know why you said it that way, but hey, that's just
That's what we're going with
that's
right
how the
now.
cookie crumbles.
Right?
Uh, yeah. See, I never had online for
Yeah.
GameCube, so I never played it.
Well, since
Um,
the first time I got to play it was since it released on Xbox. I tried to play it because there was like a PC weird thing for a long time, but it was just like so many steps to go through, and then you'd have to
yeah.
convert it to English, and I'm like, I'm not doing that. And then they announced it, I was like, finally. Like, I'll play any game, but as soon as I have to like jump through more than 5 hoops, I'm like, no, not doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you.
It's
I am
too
with you.
much.
I'm
There's a
looking
whole
forward
bunch
to
of old
the
games.
to the
Yeah,
new one, which
Genesis.
yeah, New Genesis, which should really be just like it really should be called like Fantasy Star Online 3, but
Mm,
that's just not the way they're marketing it for
yeah,
whatever stupid weird reason. But
because
yeah,
for the North American markets, if they call it 3, I feel like it's a very like they did for Devil May Cry 4, like they dumbed it down for us. There's something there that I don't know if
mm,
I'm going to be insulted if I hear the reason why. I feel like I
yeah, yeah,
will, but at the same time, whatever. I know we're dumb, so you can dumb it down for me.
yep.
Ooh,
Times of Twitter's Future Perfect. The
this was a
sequel to 2,
banging game.
yeah, was
This was
the
a really good
end
game.
the end of the Time Splitters franchise. Although it's coming back.
It
Yeah.
is?
Yeah, did you not see that so uh THQ Nordic
Mm.
they basically purchased the rights to Time Splitters and reformed the studio that made it, brought back the original guys who created the studio. And yeah, they're working on a new Time Splitters game.
No one lives forever. No one lives forever. Bring it back.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah, no.
I don't see it happening just because they can't find the paperwork that tells anybody who freaking owns it.
Oh,
Um,
I bet you
which is
Vivendi's,
unfortunate.
their vengeful ass has that paperwork somewhere in one of the offices they don't use. Oof.
Wouldn't surprise me. Wouldn't surprise me if it was just like in a random like filing cabinet somewhere.
Oh, it is.
But
oh my gosh, you got no clothes on.
yeah. Well, that was, welcome to
It's
early
wintertime, girl.
2000s.
You know what always makes me laugh is because I don't know why people are still watching my Champions of Norath video, and they're like, once you started talking about like the costumes and stuff, I rolled my eyes, and then you said you didn't care, and I was like, it's boobs. Boobs don't offend me. Boobs jiggle. I don't care. Like, it's funny, and I can't believe I noticed that because the character is so small, but you notice it in the cutscenes. But I'm like, boobs are boobs. I don't care. I can appreciate
it's
the
like,
high fantasy.
it's very hard to like not notice it in those games.
They're just like boom,
Because
boom, boom, boom.
Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance is the same. Like for the like 3 female characters that are in that game, it's like, oh, okay.
The
they're
only
like
game
they're
where it was egregious was Code Vein, because you could be standing there and the wind is lightly blowing and it's taking your characters, or I can't remember, your little companion there with her hood that's a little vampire. Her boobs are blowing in the wind. I was like, damn, okay, I'm all for jiggle physics, but you're taking it too far
yeah.
now.
Yeah, some old Dead or Alive games were pretty egregious about it too.
Damn, you're right. Dead or Alive was bad for that.
Or some or like some Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. That
Oh,
was
but we knew what we were getting with those games. We knew what those games were about.
Oh yeah, everybody knew what those games were about.
Mr. Kima, what's up? Says Resident Evil 4 is the best game ever made for GameCube.
I mean, I can't argue with them. Like
I mean, I've never played Resident Evil 4, but I agree.
yeah, it's definitely.
Although
if it's not, it's definitely towards the top for sure.
it's no Eternal Darkness, but it's pretty good. Can't help myself. I love that game. What's next? Beyond again. This is not. Maybe if it was a launch title, I don't know anybody that really associates it with the GameCube. Most people will associate it with PC or PlayStation
yeah, I think
2.
Like I said, I think it might have been on GameCube first, but
yeah,
I can't remember 100%.
It's a good game. I mean, honestly. Super Monkey Ball, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
You want to vomit? Play Super Monkey Ball. Because it makes you nauseous. Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Skies of Arcadia Legends.
Oh, I like that cover better than the other cover we saw.
Yeah.
Okay. Metroid Prime 2 Echoes. Killer
Oh, and that Echoes cover too was really cool because it was in real life. It was actually a lenticular that like was very shiny when you moved it.
Ooh.
So.
Okay.
Just wanted to point that out.
That's like oh, I don't have it on my shelf behind me. It's on another shelf. I think it's Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. It has the same thing going on where you rotate it one side and then the other side, and I love stuff like that. It's so dumb, but it's so fun.
Yeah, it's good shit.
Killer 7, I mean, come on. We've talked it.
Oh yeah.
These games are so good. Oh, there it is. Number 19. Game after my heart. It pretends to delete your save data and messes with you the whole time. Did we? I think we passed Resident Evil already. Time Splitters 2. God, that's an ugly cover art.
Yeah, it's not good, but it's. I mean, it's very emblematic of the era. That's
true.
Early 2000s.
Luigi's Mansion. Still a good game.
Yeah.
God, I love Luigi's Mansion because I didn't play it. We talked about this. I didn't play it when it first came out because I didn't. I've never owned the only consoles I've owned are PlayStation consoles and Super Nintendo and an NES, and then Game Boy like handheld stuff. But God, I love this game. And I only played it like 3 years ago for the first time, and I'm like, oh, okay, I see why people love this. I didn't know there was a second one. I don't know if I'll play the second one, but I will play the third one once Canada decides to stop being a bit of a dick and lowers prices on Switches, so I can get me a Switch that's not like $400 and not from a
Yeah, good luck
scalper.
with that.
Yeah, it's not gonna
Good luck
happen.
with that, especially with the chip shortages.
I'm gonna wait for the Pro version. Monkey Ball 2, vomit twice as hard.
F-Zero GX.
Yeah.
Resident Evil.
The first one, okay. This is, what does that say? 2-disc product.
It had 2 discs, yeah.
Like, I can't see a goddamn thing. That is
It's a
not the
double
original
discer.
cover art.
That is definitely the original cover art.
It is? Oh.
Yeah.
Damn. That's okay. It's interesting. That would not pass today's Me Too stuff, but damn. You want to know what's funny to me? And I only found this out recently was I think it's Bella's voice actress, Bella Dimitrescu, whatever, for Resident Evil Village is Jill's voice actress for Resident Evil 3. I was like, oh.
Huh.
I didn't think Capcom would double dip like that because they tend not to usually. But I'm like, okay. Maybe we'll see Lady D's voice actress again. With the Resident Evil Infinite Darkness coming out, we'll probably see her somewhere in there too, so.
Yeah.
Path of Radiance. Trevor likes them.
I mean, it was
a shot.
It's very good. And yeah, I know the GameCube version was pretty hard to find at one point, so
probably still is because people were like, I don't like this. Let me get rid of it. Pikmin 2.
I mean, the Fire Emblem games didn't become popular until like 3DS, so
I mean, look at the Yakuza games. Now people are like, "Oh my god, this is such a great series." We've been said that. This is like the angstiest cover I've ever seen in my life. Like, if this is not prime emo with the weird gradient from like green or dark black to green to white with, I mean, the eyebrows on fleek for every single character, but like, damn, angst. Double dash. What the hell you point at, boy? Peach's hair going swoosh. What the hell is Yoshi doing in the background? And Luigi doesn't even have time to say, oh shit. That's a new door. Of course. Twin Snakes.
Twin Snakes. I have a feeling most of the top 10 will probably.
Yeah. Sunshine. Twilight Princess. Animal Crossing. It's a banger, mate. Resi 4 at number 4. Okay. With the most horrifying death in video games at the time, Mr. Chainsaw Man.
Absolutely.
Abrupt.
Such good stuff.
Melee.
Smash Brothers Melee.
Pikachu, why your ears so tiny, boy? And your face so fat?
Wind
yes.
Waker.
Number 2, it needs to be. Okay, what number 1? I couldn't even assume to be. Oh, Metroid Prime.
Metroid Prime, yep.
I would be surprised if Samus didn't top most of the games list. Let's see what we got. We're only gonna do one more list because now we're gonna run into. So
yeah, most of it's probably gonna be pretty
updated in
similar.
2020. Melee. How does this list work? Okay, scroll down. Luigi, okay. Okay, now I'm questioning the validity of this list because if it's got Wasteland on it.
Right?
Uh, yeah, okay. Wind Waker. Okay, yeah. So we're coming into a lot of Ultimate Spider-Man, but that
Okay.
wasn't a GameCube exclusive. But this game is
Nah,
so
but
good.
yeah. You know what? There's one game that hasn't been mentioned, and I have to mention it because
Okay.
I don't know if it'll end up on any of these lists. And it is one of the best uses of Donkey Kong ever, and that is Donkey Konga 1 and 2, where you had the damn barrel controllers, and it was a drumming rhythm game with Donkey Kong, where you played actual like licensed real world music, and it was awesome. Uh, it was legit like real good,
mm, I hate it,
and
but I love it.
yeah, so like you had the left and right, and then like you had claps, which it would know if you clapped. Um,
Thank you to
it
this
was
man. Let me much games. My God, this. You know what this reminds me of is the Japanese games with the drums with the sticks that
the
you can
Taiko
play.
Drum Master.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
God. We're not. I'm not gonna play any of the music. It's copyright to hell, and Nintendo does not take
Oh yeah.
kindly on that. But good
Nintendo
God,
don't play.
this is DDR for your hands.
Yes, it was. I was much better at this than I was at like DDR or Pump It Up.
Oh,
So,
pump it up. I think yeah. Most. Oh, there's another list. Strikers, Arcadia. Let's see if there's anything
but
new
I had a
on here.
feeling that Donkey Konga would not be on any of those lists, so
I
I
have
wanted
a
to mention it
feeling.
because I love those games. I love Donkey Konga 1 and 2. Like they were so good.
I,
And actually they did a game, they did an actual like action game, Donkey Kong game that used the drums. It was called Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. Um, and it was literally like you'd be climbing a tree and like each drum would be like his arms and like to climb, and then you would time stuff to beat bosses and like it was actually really good, surprisingly. So
I think you're the only person that remembers that game aside from the person we just watched.
yeah,
Okay,
probably.
I no longer count this list as valid because I have a movie tie-in game that is also a Madagascar game. Nah, you can go away with that.
Goodbye, Madagascar.
So let's just see before we wrap this up, because my throat is starting to hurt. I know Trevor was almost dying there. The best selling games of all time on the console. Of course, Smash Brothers, Double Dash, Mario Sunshine
Makes
number
sense.
3, Wind Waker, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Mario Party 4, Metroid Prime is also tied for 7 with Mario Party 4. Oh, now I guess that's 7, 8. They just they're both tied, but
Mm.
they give them okay. Mario Party 7 and Pokemon Coliseum. There's been no Pokemon games mentioned. No, nothing.
Uh, so yeah, they did. So they did Pokemon Coliseum, which
Yeah.
was which was one where you imported your Pokemon and then you did Pokemon battles against your friends. And then they did a Pokemon game, and I didn't play it, so I don't know why it's not uh it wasn't received well, but they had Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness on the GameCube, which was an actual Pokemon adventure. Um,
Okay, now I
but
need to
I
see it.
yeah, so I don't know, but I don't know why people didn't like it. So
Because it's like turning your Yu-Gi-Oh card into an RPG like this.
yeah, maybe yeah. Um,
I bet you it's good, but it's also like hella weird.
could be.
I just want to see what my big thing was looking at games like this. I just want to see the combat. Oh God. God, this
Oh
reminds me
yeah.
of Yu-Gi-Oh like GX, which is the stuff I never watch because I don't want to watch stupid motorcycle stuff. Oh, so it's the normal
Yeah,
Pokemon fight. Oh,
but
okay.
I never see this game get mentioned at all ever when people talk about Pokemon games. Like,
I
so
I can see why people don't like it, but it's literally 3D Pokemon.
yeah.
Oh, look, damn, he's zipping on that scooter. Zoop. Uh, okay, yeah, you know what? This is, Trevor's introducing me to some games tonight. I'm gonna write this down, oops, on my list, and I hit the all the way back. Gale of Darkness. So if you see this in a retrospective soon, you can blame Trevor. If you see any of these, if you see Batten Kaitos, if you see Shadow of the Dam, if you see Gale of Darkness, blame Trevor. It's
As
all
you
on him.
should, and you
So
should see them.
you should.
Um,
I mean, there's so many games. It wasn't until I want to say 2017 the first time I played Symphony of the Night, so I have some catching up to do. I'm just gonna see if any other things we haven't seen that aren't sports goddamn games.
yeah, I'm just doing like a quick like look see through the just the whole list of games just to see if there's anything that just jumps out at me. But
So many sports games. Oh my, Splinter Cell, but that's not a
nah,
yeah.
it was released
Chocolaco,
everywhere.
what's up? You were literally on a 1 hour conversations with your friends that called you to catch up. I mean, you gotta catch up, baby. You an important man. You really hated that you missed this episode because you would have loved to reminisce about the GameCube library. The fact that you're here means a lot to us, and next time maybe you can catch us next week. I don't know what our topic is gonna be, but we'll figure it out. And have we talked about Mario Parties and Eternal Darkness? We have.
Talked a little bit, yeah, a little bit about Mario parties. Not a lot. Like I
Yeah.
didn't play a ton of the Mario parties during this generation. I played more during the N64, I would say.
Honestly,
And
same.
yeah, so
I think it was
um,
4.
but I always did like the Mario parties though. They were fun.
Oh yeah, they're a great. I call them friendship enders because honestly,
Oh, that's right. There was Pokemon Channel as well,
was Snap
which was
on the GameCube or was that
it was
N64?
not. That was
Okay.
N64. Channel was like a weird like I, it's like a simulation with like digital pets. Like I don't even know. Like even like
Okay.
looking at its Wikipedia, it's like this game is hard to categorize.
Awesome.
Um,
I love when the Wikipedia can't give a description of the goddamn game.
yeah. So the player can explore full 3D environments, have Pikachu converse with other Pokemon, and collect various items. The player's goal is to help Professor Oak refine and promote his TV network through watching broadcasts with a Pikachu.
Bitch.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's weird as
So
hell.
it's a weird ass game, yeah. Yeah.
But Chocolate, my favorite GameCube game is Eternal Darkness Sanity's Requiem because it's just I feel like I have to do a retrospective on it soon. It's just so forgotten. I mean, Trevor said it. It lived and died on the GameCube. And where's that list? Eternal Darkness. It's got to be on here somewhere.
Yeah, I'm just like
Oh, it's not on the. Okay.
as
Eternal
far as
Darkness. Please don't give me something depressing. Okay. Oh yeah, Silicon Knights. Who? Oof. Oh, Silicon Knights was Canadian. I forgot. Okay.
yeah.
God, who owns the rights to this? Probably Nintendo. Well, they're the publisher though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not sure. Not sure if they do or if it.
Yeah. Precursor
They might
games,
though.
but then they lost to Epic Games, filed for bankruptcy. Hmm. I don't know who owns this, but I would love to see um, this be brought forward in more than just emulation sense. Because this game is so funky and weird. Chocolacos also says, oh god, Mario Party was in its prime during the GameCube. They were still in his rotation with his friends up until COVID happened. I mean, Mario Party is the game for friends. And Soul Calibur 2 had Link on the game. Yeah, it did. Trevor's telling me. Boy,
Yeah, I think
Chakalaka
that
said, shout out to Kirby's Air Ride. He's the only person I've ever heard say, hey,
okay.
shout out to Kirby.
Hey, look, I just made fun of more of like the decision behind making a Kirby racing game. Like
Yeah,
it's probably still good. It's just such a weird like, hey, this is a business meeting at Nintendo. Pitch your game. It's like,
right.
well, look, you know, we got these we got these adventure games where Kirby sucks up the people and then he gains their powers. Uh, what do we want to do with Kirby? Uh, do we want to make another one of those? Or you know the part of the game where he exits the level on the star. Well, what if we just had him race in the star and went around tracks? How about we make that game? We'll call it Air Ride because he's riding on air.
uh,
Um,
it can get. That's exactly
Sold.
what the board meetings sound like.
Like, I mean, I feel that's exactly what happened. Like, it's just a weird game to pitch, I guess.
Although,
Um,
we've talked when we looked at the Star Wars games and when the game on screen, Resident Evil and Star Wars, they have some weird ass games in their lineup, so we can't really fault them for making a weird ass Kirby game.
okay, that makes more sense to me now. So Chakalaka says the director of Super Smash Bros. Sakurai directed Kirby's Air Ride.
uh,
Okay, all right. He was
okay,
like, I want to make this weird ass Kirby game. Let's do it.
okay,
And then they made that weird ass Kirby game. Okay, that makes a ton more sense now.
that makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Also, before we do our outros, if no spoilers for it, but if you've played Village and you've played Resident Evil 4, you will get the eerie similarity between the games because there's somewhere you're like, oh, this is the Las Plagas. Like, Resident Evil Village is Resident Evil 4, but with an annoying character. Because, I mean, Ethan, I mean, there's a big twist with Ethan to see why he's annoying, but he's so annoying. I mean, his character model
Yeah, it's
didn't
what I've
even have
heard.
a head for the longest time. Even if you go in the camera models, he does not have a head.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay. But yeah, the GameCube was a system I think is like the Dreamcast, appreciated now, not appreciated at the time, but everything in hindsight. It left
Yeah.
some of the greatest games we've had. I mean, Resident Evil is probably one of the greatest games of all time. It's up there. Eternal Darkness, Soul Calibur. There was a lot of Zelda games, Wind Waker. GameCube was a great system, and it had some great games. It's a shame that we'll never see some of them again, or maybe it'll take a very, very, very long time to see them. But damn, we gotta
Yeah,
look
this
back
is
on this.
I mean, I don't like look, I realize Nintendo is like regardless of what I say after
Suplex.
this, Nintendo is making money hand over fist
Oh yeah.
still. But it's like at the same time, why does Nintendo hate making more money where they could be making fist over fist of money?
Mhm.
Um, by like they have such a vast library of games that people will continue to rebuy again and
Mhm.
again why are you not? Why do you not have a virtual console again? Why have you not brought that back? Why are you not reselling these games again? I mean, everybody complains about them like reselling and reselling, but like
You're gonna
if
buy
they
it anyway.
resold, you'd still rebuy it.
You know what
Um,
game they could
I
re-release today that would easily make them probably $500,000 is Hagane. It was it never had, I think, a full release in North America, and it's considered one of the hardest games of all time. And people would buy it just to try to beat it. Like, oh, I've beaten Dark Souls, I can beat Hagane. That would make them so much money. That just one game. You don't even have to sell the full game at this point, because I doubt most people will be able to get past the first episode or the first level. Come on, Nintendo. You're sitting on a gold mine. I mean,
they have so much stuff there. They've had a virtual console in previous. Like I don't understand why.
mm-hmm.
it's cool that you're doing like the little libraries with the Wii U online, or not the Wii U, but the Switch online subscription or whatever. Like
Yeah.
that's cool. But you can do that and on the side also just be like, hey, we got all these games sitting around. Let's just sell them
Yep.
again. I don't understand why they don't want more money.
I mean, we
Um,
could. That's something we can dive into when we do our Nintendo stuff because it's the same with Capcom. Capcom, you are sitting on a trove of games. Sega, you're sitting on a trove. Well, Sega, I will give them the credit. Sega and Capcom are going back into that library, but
mm,
Capcom, Nintendo, it's like, don't you want you have a whole generation to resell these games to that are gonna think these are the greatest things since sliced bread. Why not?
yeah, I don't understand it. Like
Yeah.
just freaking let people buy whatever game they want on the Switch. Like just do it. Just
And people, it's proven people will pay full price just to play it.
yeah, it's not. Yeah, I don't know. I
Yeah.
just like I realize they like doing their thing, but like ah,
The thing has got to make
it's
some business sense eventually. Not just, oh, it's Nintendo, let them be. No, it's got to make business sense. And when they start doing that, hit me up. Because
yeah,
it doesn't make
yeah.
business sense. So, did you guys enjoy our little Nintendo rant at the end there? We're definitely gonna. I know I've gotten some DMs about talking about Nintendo. There's some things, like bigger things we want to talk about that just require a little bit more sit down and research. Like, we do want to talk about forgotten games, but I want to research some of those a little bit more so we don't give you guys wrong information, and so we can find places like No One Lives Forever where we can give you the proper places to play them. And I don't know if it's legal because it's in that weird gray area. Who knows who owns them? But we enjoy when you guys interact with us. Chakalaka, thank you for coming 3 hours later and hanging out with us. We really
Absolutely, yeah.
appreciate it. You guys are awesome. If you want to leave some comments, make sure you do so. Either here, Trevor and I do come back and we look for the comments. If you're listening to this where podcasts are available, you can leave a comment there. We might read it out in the show if you leave a nice review or an angry one. It's up to you. You can also leave a review in Level 1 Gaming here. You can click on the Level 1 Originals, go onto the latest episode, like the latest episode right now, because I am behind on everything in my life, is Resident Evil episode. That's a good one. Trevor spilled some knowledge on that one. Go back and watch that. Leave a comment at the underside of it, and I will go back and pull it out and all that. This has been episode 13 of Cogs in the Machine.
Mm.
Could think of that. We've been talking about GameCube, Nintendo's best console. Let us know in the comment section below. I am the floor hugger. You guys know me. You will see me tomorrow on 2XP, 7:30. No, 7. No, yeah, 7 Central Standard Time. I had to think of the time. I got to do that little conversion in my head. And see you guys tomorrow. Do I have anything else to say? Look out for some reviews. Baron is going to be doing a Biomutant review. There's been a couple other reviews that are going to be happening tomorrow. Fame and I are releasing a Operation Tango co-op game review. Um, so that's be something to look forward to. And no, I did not yell at him. I don't know if we're going to stream that. We have most of our parts recorded and we were going to edit it up, but maybe we'll stream it. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out. But thank you guys for being awesome. Thank you for listening to us ramble. Thank you, OBS gods, for letting it be one complete show. You've been so good to me lately, and I just have to praise you at the end of the show. And Trevor, please tell these people where they can find you because they need to know where they can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Trevor Oz OSZ, and then you can check out the work that we're doing over at Winterborn on Externus at externusgame.com. We are taking pre-orders through backer kit currently on our game, and hopefully we'll have that out sometime later this year. At least that's the goal, but we will see how that ends up. But thank you guys for watching, listening. However you do you, we certainly appreciate it. Everybody at Level 1 appreciates it. They do a lot of awesome work, so continue to check back and watch all their other stuff on a weekly basis because it's totally worth doing because I do that.
My heart.
So thank you guys, and we'll be back next week.
Also, while you're listening to the end of this, listen to the new intro slash outro and tell me what you think. Tell me if it's good, bad, what you would change, and tell me what is the special game somewhere in the middle of it. And we'll see you guys next week. Bye, guys.